Good morning. People, good morning. Is today Monday? I think today's Monday. I know, when you wake up out of the Matrix pods, who knows? Let me get some sharing. So we can share this out too. Good morning, Chad E. How you pronounce your name? I'm not sure. I see you out there on the internet, girl. Do your thing. Put your thing down. I see you out there, we friends on a couple sites. Doing your thing, trying to change the world. Appreciate that. Let me see. Share this out to my page. Who is that? Lori and Ann. I can't see all the names yet. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me share. I share. First thing, gotta stay organized, people. Be organized. Be organized. Always listen to Morpheus and be organized. I'm talking. Shut up, Gerard. Shut up. All right. Let's share it out on the Green News Network. Brother John and Maha and Mary, saw y'all come in. Thank you for sharing. One day I'm gonna have a share app. It's gonna tell me everybody who shared, who didn't share. Then I'm only gonna read the comments of people who shared. That's what I'm gonna do, because you know YouTube does that. I better hope I don't ever get that many friends on YouTube. I can do that setup. I can see who shared. Damn it, trying to wake up out the Matrix. We're gonna talk about a couple things today. How y'all doing this morning? Hey, y'all have a good weekend? Damn, I'm running my mouth. Where's my thing? Good morning, Georgia and Heaven. Maha, how y'all doing this morning? Y'all have a good weekend? Anybody die? Yeah, we're gonna talk about, what is the name of that thing that's about to blow up and kill everybody? WR 104? Yeah, all right, we're gonna talk about that too. Hold on, who is that? Who is that? Brother Gustin out there on YouTube. I see you, bro. All right, hold on. We snowed in this morning, so I got some time this morning. We're gonna try to see if we can't ruffle a few feathers. Gotta ruffle some feathers. Good morning, Titus. How you doing? Rebecca. Danny, good morning. I see y'all sharing. I'm talking. Shut up, says G. You're talking? Lori, what are you talking? Huh? Y'all trying to confuse people. You wake up out of the Matrix, you'll be a little confused in a minute. Hold on, wait. There's too much going on. Good morning, everybody. All right, it's like everybody in the house today. Y'all must be snowed in too. Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Ivana. Outside it's sub-zero temperature, difficult to hear. Outside is sub-zero and it's difficult to hear. It's difficult to hear because it's sub-zero, difficult to hear because they're playing with my microphone. I don't know. All right, let's get going. Nikki and Daniel, good morning. Did y'all hear about WR 104? That's what it's called. WR 104. Apparently, hang on, I'm messing up. There we go. Whew. Okay. Isn't it hard waking up? It's hard waking up. But I don't think you ever do wake up. I don't think that actually ever happens. I don't think it's possible. I think that there are layers upon layers upon layers of bullshizzle that we're all buried in, that we're born into. There's always somebody trying to control you. There's always some group, some system, some nation, some ism. There's always an ism schism. Something always trying to make a fool out of you. Something always trying to control you because you're a battery. The Matrix was a documentary. In so many ways, it's the perfect analogy for everything in life born on our little bigoted planet. Waking up, absolutely, Rebecca, is an ongoing process that you will never achieve. You will never get your degree. No PhDs for woke. There's no woke, what is that? Bachelor's degree. There's no woke philosophy degree. There's no woke. There's nothing woke. And you know how you know somebody's not woke? Somebody who doesn't want to wake up, that's when they're woke AF. That's what that means. I know what that meant. I know what it means now. It means I have sufficiently woke and I'm going to stay in my current ism. And I don't care what that ism does to you. I'm going to stay in my current ism because it makes me feel powerful and good. You need to come to my level of ism. You need to get in my matrix and eat that steak. That's what it means. Somebody's woke AF, it means that I ain't going no further. I don't know what the A stand for, but the F means further. I'm woke and ain't. Yeah, I'm woke and I ain't going no further. They can't spell, but that's okay. That's okay. We want you to come further. Good morning, Todd, Kelly, Roglin. So I don't think we ever can wake up. I don't think so. I think all we can do is have a commitment to the process. Like Sister Rebecca just said, the process of every time I find an ism, every time I look at my bones and there's a schism, I'm going to get it out. Whether that be nationalism or racism or race or religion or socialism or capitalism or communism or any of the isms. Which is funny to me because right now I'm watching everybody debate about we need a socialist in the White House. And we need to keep with capitalism. And I just sit here and you know what? There ain't no capitalism anywhere in Washington. I'm just going to let you know that. Ain't none, ain't never existed, probably ain't never going to be. Ain't no socialist anywhere in Washington. Ain't none, ain't never going to be. Corporations run Washington. You will only get corporatists. That's the bottom line. They might go in socialist. They might have a rally, get you yelling and screaming. But daggone, once they're in Washington, it is a damn requirement that they take on corporatism. And that's all you're going to get. It's all you're going to get. I know it sucks. Pulling up your big boy panties sucks. I know it does. But that's what you need. You need to pull them up. Tuck them ball sacks in. Pull them big panties up. Because we need to be grown. We need to be grown and stop playing. This ain't a game. WR 104 is on the way. Okay, so what WR 104? That's that what's up above me. Y'all see that right there? Say hi, everybody. Wait, WR 104. Hey, how you doing? How your mama doing? How y'all doing? He's in the Sagittarius. You know what that is? That's two suns dancing. Isn't that pretty? Two suns dancing around each other. Just a dancing and circling each other. Although one has a tummy ache. I'll put it in layman's term. One has a tummy ache. But you know what? So the funny thing to me is it's in the Sagittarian galaxy. You know what Sagittarian is? Uh-oh. I hope I say it right. Don't make me say some fake news. I'll say some fake news on here in a minute. But the Sagittarian is the archer, if I'm not correct. I am correct. It's the archer. Why would they call the Sagittarian galaxy the archer? True to aim. The hell they aiming at us? Y'all aiming at us, Sagittarian. Why y'all called that? Somebody called they called them the Archer Galaxy. Why? Because you got two big explosions that quantum or physicists understand. The biggest explosions that ever can occur. One is the Big Bang. You can call it whatever you want. Big G God farted. Big G God turned his laptop on. Big G God, there was some size matter blew up and exploded, atomic whatever. We don't debate dumb stuff here. We just say, look, something about to kill us. We need to probably pay attention. Probably need to wake up. So one is the Big Bang. The second is a plasma explosion. I think it's plasma, right? A plasma explosion. And so these two suns circling each other are going, well, one is going to blow up. It could blow up today. It could blow up right now. It could blow up tomorrow. It could blow up in 100,000 years. I think that's the furthest out they go, but it's going to blow up. The problem is the archer has its aim. Damn lucky when a sun blows up. If you're on the side, if you're on the bottom is bad too, but if you're on the top, if you are directly above the North Pole of that sun, you got some plasma coming your way. So it is about to blow up because it's doing that dance. They're percolating. They're doing the double step. Remember how we talk about something is always trying to kill us? Something is always coming to kill us. It's not a good time to be stupid. It's a time to pay attention. It's a time to focus on things that are the most important. So what's going to happen when when that thing blows up? and it ejects at us because we are directly above its north pole. So that beam of power that's coming right here, that's not Jesus. That is not Jesus. That's not being great again. That's not anything good. They say the light is going to be more powerful than the sun. You won't even be able to see the sun, the blast to be so bright. We want to debate politics. It is going to blast away our entire atmosphere. And some people say it might miss us a little bit. It might miss us by 2%, but it'll take more than half of our atmosphere with it. We all gonna die. Question is, what are you gonna do while you're here? Where did I get the information? Brother John, something called science. It's called physics. I'll post the link. I mean, this isn't new information. They've known this for 10 years. This isn't anything new. It's just they don't talk about it much, right? Because if they can get you to focus on silly stuff, if they can get you to focus on staying in your current ism, staying in your current pod matrix, enjoying the steak, they can make a lot of money. So it may not be that the Rothschilds and Rockefellers want to get on a ship and get the hell out of here with us dumb fighting monkeys. It might be that they want to go underground. Let's say the only way you're going to get away from the initial blast, and I think it's months. Michio Kaku was he's one of the theoretical physicists I listen to the most. He says it would probably be months before any of our atmosphere would start to replace itself. So you'd have to be underground for months. It's a lot of damn dried rice. That's a deep cavern. Perhaps why your elites have all the... That might be why they spend billions of dollars building bunkers. That might be why the Native Americans told you about the ant people that came from underground. That might be why they say the earth is hollow. That might be why there might be people living all under there, the elites doing the same damn thing they've been doing from the beginning of time. Digging deep to get away from you. But you need people to work. You need forced labor. You need a way of making the drills and the lasers and getting all the canned food. You need an economy. You need people growing the food. You need dummies. You need people putting them on trucks. You need to be sending them into bunkers or building spaceships and free energy where you can make massive growth facilities underground to make sure you, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Rothschilds, and everybody's family can go underground. Everybody can be nice and safe, except the dumb monkeys that grew the food, that made cans, labeled the cans, drove the trucks, constructed the bunkers, made the locks, put together the spaceships and all of the forced labor it takes, because you need that engine, right? You need the hamsters running in the engine. You need them producing. This is why I'm not a job person. I don't believe in jobs. I only believe in open source. An open source world. Because there's always multiple matrices to wake up from. And if you control the information, you control the entire population. That's where I'm coming from. So let's jump into the news. But WO is a bad thing. It's gonna kill us. We're all gonna die. You know what? But it would suck more if it is not our generation, it's the next. We spend all this time preparing the elite to survive. The elite continuity project of Wall Street. Because that's all it is, the elite continuity project of forced labor, not taking care of each other, not being honest about what they see in space, what they find in space, and what we all need to be doing down here. Not fighting over race. All right, let's get into it. How's everybody doing this morning? Was that dark? Was that a little dark? Yeah, Brother John, we see your comments. Brother, we see your comments. Was that a little dark? I don't think it's dark. I think it's honest. I think we need to pay attention to the fact that we were always warned about being greedy bastards and fighting each other versus fighting for each other. We were always warned by whatever used to come here, all the philosophies about giving people the shirt off your back and feeding them and taking care of your neighbors, looking out for each other. We were always warned against the fact of always giving. Select few. a select few that has more jewels, born with more jewels than what we were. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. We live together or we'll die alone. In fact, it's not even live together, it's thrive together. We will either thrive together or we'll die alone. All right, what we got this morning? I found a few things kind of interesting outside of U.S. hegemony. Race is in the news. We're going to talk about a little race.
The National Action Plan again.
Wait. Slow down. It's always a good thing to get into race. Because, well, in my country, I tell you this. Here, this is what they get people to fight over the most. I don't know what people in your country fight over the most. Here, they fight over the color of their skin. Really silly, dumb stuff. But this is what people do. Let me see if I can bring that to where you can see. There we go. I'm going to have to take myself and move myself down. Anything that is popular to fight over, you probably shouldn't. It's probably being driven. We're going to talk about racial tension in South Africa. Keep in mind, I'm not in South Africa. I don't know what's going on in South Africa. All I can do, because I'm in the American matrix, I'm trying to get out of it. I was born into. All I can do is look down there and see how they're being played against and try to figure out how that happened in America or how that's happening where I live, what I can do to not get played that way and to try to give them a heads up. Because usually the elite are playing everybody the same all over the world. What happened? Do we need to see that guy the whole dang show? Gee, who? What you talking about? What goopy guy? Y'all see a goopy guy? Who you talking about? Is that Caleb? No, that's not Caleb Mopper. You talking about me? Oh, no. Oh, you mean, more, what's the name? Oh, hang on, wait, hang on. Deborah got a question. I gotta do the questions. Oh, you mean more, what's his name? Neo. Do we need? Well, I think it's a good analogy. Isn't that a good thing to see him? Because when you look at him, what do you see? You see somebody that's waking up. They got goo on them. They got goo. It's like your family. It's like Neo. Yeah, Neo. Every time you wake up out of a matrix, right, you kind of wake up and you wash that jelly off your face. Get some of that race off your face. Got that nationalism dripping out your ears. Yeah, I guess, Deborah, I think it's nasty, but I kind of want to see it. Neo, right? That's Neo. I kind of like it there because it's a good analogy. Like when you wake up out the matrix, you don't just come out of it, right? You don't just like wake up like, I'm woke up. I understand that I'm not supposed to be just Christian and hate Muslims. You know, you're supposed to kind of wake up, like you still have some goo in your eye. It's gonna be in your nose. You might have to blow a nostril to the other one and kind of get it all off because it's a process, right? And then you wake up and then you get sucked down the tube and then you end up in a pile of other goo, which you just got some of that goo out your eye. But sometimes you fall, sometimes you backslid, you fall back into the goo. And then hopefully Morpheus comes, you find a community to help you, wake you up, and they're not bigots either. They don't believe in their birth bigotry and their isms, and they bring down and grab your butt and pull you out. So I'm sorry, Deborah. I know I won't get into the news, but I think it's good to see, Deborah. I think it's good to see because we all got goo. Don't be gooish. We all got goo. We all got goo. Born in goo. Born in trouble. All of us born in trouble. So I don't like the word troublemaker. What the hell does that mean? Think about this. If we're all born in trouble, we ain't making trouble. We're trying to resolve it. We're all born in trouble. There's no such thing as a troublemaker. You have kids born in trouble and they don't want to stay in trouble. They grow up and they learn how everybody's played against each other and they want to escape out of it. So it's the goo, Deborah. But we're going to have something else. So we're going to show the news. So you don't have to see all the goo. It's only a little goo in the screen, girl. A little goo. Just a little goo. All right, here we go. Let's get into this.
Against racism has been approved in South Africa. More than 500 race-related complaints were received there just in the period 2015-2016. Apartheid ended more than 2 decades ago, but South Africa is still struggling with the problem of racism. Meanwhile, the leader of the country's far-left Economic Freedom Fighters Party has caused controversy by saying that the white population should become domestic workers in black households.
I don't want blacks to work for whites. I want you to work for yourselves, and white people will work for you. That will be true freedom. You must teach them how to carry babies on their back. They must feel what our parents have been feeling. We're not calling for white people to be killed, but for white people to be our domestic workers.
All right, so here you go. Now let's go get real for a minute here. This is why I try to warn you that there's only those who believe in slavery and those who don't. There are only those psychopaths who believe in forcing others to do what you want them to do, and those that don't. Racism has no color, shape, size, anything. But I say this, I get what he's saying. Do you get what he's saying? He's a psychopath who's come through oppression, and he's seen horrible things, and he wants to fight out, and he's been raised in his ism, and he's not trying to get out the pod, he's trying to stay in the pod. Like, so I look at these things, and I try to understand where somebody's coming from. I get it, but what's the point of the oppressed becoming the oppressed? How is that going to help anything? So what are you going to do? So it makes sense to make all these white folks your slaves. Make them all put the babies on the back, carry food and rice and stuff on your head, stuff like that. The horrible things they made you do. Cleaning their houses, and then you raise a generation of white folk, white kids that hate you for being a slaver, hate you for cutting off their foot, hate you for wearing chains, hate you for oppression, and then they turn on you. And now they gotta fight for freedom and democracy and freedom. They get their freedom, then they enslave you 4 generations down the road. You see how that ends? And then the other one, it's called a sustainable cycle. And then the black children grow up. It's a sustainable psychopathic slave. But I'm gonna show you the rest of it. I want to show you the rest of it because I think it's a great example here. This is why I tell you. When I was growing up, they had something called fear of a black planet. And there is fear of a black planet. In between there being fear of a white planet. In between there being fear of a yellow planet. Because there's always fear of any sort of slave enforced controlled society. Uh-oh, hang on, my green screen is messing up. What the hell's going on? Let's let the rest of this talk. This is the danger in picking teams when you need to be human. This is a danger in being immature when you need to be mature. This is the danger of cheering psychopaths when you need to keep hippies.
Julius Malema was expelled from the African National Congress back in 2012 for sowing divisions within the party. He went on to found the Economic Freedom Fighters, a political party which follows Marxist ideology and which is currently the 3rd largest in both houses of parliament. Over the years, Malema has stirred national debate with his views on race and class. He's been found guilty twice of hate speech and incitement to violence against white people. Well, white people represent 9% of South Africa's populations, but they own more than 70% of private farmland. Efforts to reclaim much of that land without compensation have been launched by the government. Our guests debated the situation in the country, including Julius Malema's controversial remarks.
His comments still, I think, do hold certain underlying feelings of negativity towards white people, and I do believe that Mr. Malema, he does have negative intentions towards the white people in South Africa.
You want to obliterate.
Hang on, I'm gonna stop there. Let's stop for a minute. Now, he actually doesn't have negative intentions towards the people, the white folk there. You know what he has? He has an understanding that if he says the thing he says, he's going to get a lot of people behind him. Why? Because a lot of people were raised in oppression there. He doesn't care nothing about white folk. What he cares about is power and control. And if you can get a lot of people behind you, you have the power and the control. The same way in Washington, they yell and scream about socialism, communism, capitalism, Bernieism, Ocasio-ism, Trumpism, Make America Greatism. So they don't care nothing about who it hurts. It's all about power and control. So no, he doesn't have anything against white folk. He just knows a lot of dumb black folk are going to get behind him. Same thing in America. It's always about power and control. You know, I'm going to try to do some comments this morning. I'm going to spend a little more time reading your comments as we go. We'll watch the whole thing. But Colonizers getting a taste of their own medicine. Well, Maha, that's not really what's going to happen, because what will happen is all you're doing is you're actually hurting the children of the colonizers. So they can turn around and their children can hurt your children. So they turn around and their children hurt their children. And so it's a sustainable cycle of being psychopathic. So colonizers aren't getting a taste of their own medicine. All they're doing is flipping the script every couple years. The colonizers are the 1%. They ain't never getting no medicine because we don't force vaccines into them. They aren't getting any medicine. All they're doing is they're getting poor people to keep fighting against the poor people. Guess what? The oligarchs in Cape Town still getting money. Exactly, Tony. That's the whole point. Is that you can flip the script and what colors in control, it's not going to matter. The oligarchs are still going to get the money. The colonized, the ones who are all in control with the sellouts at the tops of all the governments, ain't nothing going to happen to them. It's the poor people at the bottom that become the slaves. And that's just how it goes. That's why I'm saying you got to wake up out of your ism. You're not fixing anything turning against other poor people. You're fixing things turning against the model that allows anybody to be oppressed. That's a true fix. Besides the fact that there are no white people and black people anyway. There aren't. Because if all life came out of Africa, what happened to the white folk? They went back to Africa. They went back to Africa. They didn't invade Africa. This is why that's why I like science and I like archaeology and history. There are people returning. All of these people are related. They're all different colors, but they all come from the same original people. So they return. Now, mind you, they didn't say, hey, can we come? They didn't get an invite. They didn't get an invitation, mind you, but they all came from that land.
We want to end completely the system which is constructed today of white people on top and oppressing and exploiting black people. We want to end that system so that South Africa is in the hands of the black majority. We construct a new society which takes care of black people without oppressing white people. In fact, white people can even leave if they want to.
The general idea.
I'm sorry, hold on, wait. White people, y'all can leave if y'all want to. Y'all have to stay if y'all want to. You can pack your bags if you want. But I like some of the things he said. But you know what? When I look at this stuff, it's just like my country. I always see the sides of the debate borderline on ignorance. They always borderline on just division, making it just impalatable for anybody on the other side to get on that side. Because that tends to be a sustainable fight. You'll always have polar opposites and polar extremes.
Ideology of Julius Malema, wherein he likes to try and create this sort of clash between races in South Africa in order to gain petty political points.
South Africa is a...
I disagree with that too. The points ain't petty. The same way Al Sharpton does here. Ain't the point petty. Same way Donald Trump did here. All right, let's be honest. Okay, so I'm gonna educate you. So they're right about where Make America Great Again came from. So the real deal is that actually was a Klan statement to make something great again, to make their country great again. Now, did he pick it because he's racist? No, he picked it because he knew it to get people behind him. The same reason why this black dude saying what he's saying and that white dude saying what he's saying, because it'll get people to get into the pods. It'll get people to get into the matrix. It'll get people to get into an ism. It will give them power. They have no interest in the hate. They have no interest in hurting people. They just want money. They want the power. Everybody wants the power. Everybody wants to rule the world. That's why I say everything always comes down to economics. It's always economics. Focus on the money, focus on the money, focus on the money, focus on the money. I keep saying follow the money. It's just about power. See through the isms, because if you see racism, if you see the skinism, if you see the clanism, if you see the control, you won't see the control-ism, and you'll fall into. And then you'll get played. And I think as an adult, the older you should get, the less you should want to get played by this nonsense.
White-dominated country, 35,000 white families own 80% of the land. We don't own this country. As I speak to you as a black person in South Africa, I own nothing. I am, in fact, considered, I think, a tenant. White people own still everything. Therefore, there is a legitimate reason for black people to be unhappy about a white presence, white oppression.
The government, it gives them opportunities. through the black economic empowerment, it gives them opportunities. It incentivizes businesses to hire them in higher positions. It is easier for them to enter into higher education, into universities. The idea that they are forced into lower positions is ridiculous. The system in South Africa is not a white supremacist system. It is not a white-dominated system. The government is a black majority government.
All right, I'm going to stop, because remember, everything is tribalism. So what did the brother say? The brother said, so much. Oh, my God. There's so much. I forget what I want to say. He was arguing that, the whites own everything. Okay, and while that might be true, they own the land, but they don't technically own the land. Let's be real. The money always goes up. So it's just like America. The money always goes up to the oligarchs. The money always goes up to the elite. The money's going back to Britain. It's going back to Dutch. It's going back to America. Whoever actually controls the colony. It's going to the elite, to the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. But it's a pyramid, remember? There's somebody at the top. You never get to see them. The second level, you never get to see them. The third level, you never get to see them. The fourth level, somewhere around the 82nd level, there might be the government. Then there might be some landowners. And you usually can only see the level just above you. So it doesn't matter what color the people who own the land, like it doesn't matter the color of the government, what this brother just said. Because why? If the government is black and they're not changing much, what does that tell you? Same thing a lot of Americans should be figuring out right now. That your governments are sellouts. They always put sellouts in control. So the good thing about the whole Venezuela thing, which is related to this, because it's all thing. Colonizers colonizing, getting the dumb people to fight other dumb people for minerals and resources that always go up to the corporations and the elite. Is that one thing in Latin America should be obvious? What a good thing is Venezuelans got together. That's what I'm happy about. There was no let's start a violent revolt rally this weekend. Wasn't nothing this weekend. The Venezuelans together, they realized y'all coming down there to colonize and get resources to corporations. So that's a good thing. But the other thing is the other Latin American countries, they should see what's going on now. They should see, well, wait a minute. The hell America wants to go invade? Why did my government jump up in support of America going to invade Venezuela? Because your government's a sellout. Like, I didn't know who this dude is. He a sellout. I don't know his name. But I know he worked for colonizers. I know he worked for corporations. I know just like Barack Obama, just like Trump, just like Bernie, just like Ocasio, just like all of them. They all work for corporations, all of them. That's why the only way out is sovereignty. The only way out is getting out of your ism, getting out of your matrix pod. That's the only way we survive this. We don't survive this continuing to fall into this tribal bull. We survive this when you look and say, you know what? Yeah, that little white kid got a lot more than I got. Yeah, that white kid had a lot more than I had when I grew up. I love that white kid. Why? Because his skin color don't mean nothing. Every baby born on this planet has a right to food, water, freedom, access. And guess what'll happen when you start talking like that? Then the white folk look at your little babies like, yeah, they're little black babies. Y'all not doing them right. We're not doing them right. They should have food. They cool. They're cute. They should grow up. Because the thing is, to me, and this is why I always talk about children. That's why I always default to children. Because you will break down the most hardcore bull when you look at the children. When you look at these little babies that are born, they're so cute. They're so cute, y'all. Come on, be honest. Come on. The little babies, they like to put their feet in your mouth and stuff, and they make got the drool and stuff. Their poo-poo don't even stink. It smells like sugar. It's even got a sweet smell to it. And you look at every child, you don't see a race. All you see is something that's beautiful, that's born on this planet, that deserves the best we can give it. It's born and so innocent, playing with balls and chewing on toys and eating all the dirt out your carpet and the things you're laying around on your floor. It has no idea the dangers and the dummies that y'all are trying to put in Washington with your 2020 colonize and killing more people. You love babies. Everybody loves babies. The biggest biker, the biggest thug, unless you're a psychopath, everybody can do that. That's why you always that's why America uses babies against you. That's why they do it too. They understand this. It's all psychology. But I think if you can look at children and say, you know what, children deserve better than today. That should give you enough motivation to push things forward and not tribalize up with some ignorant side in some fight that's always about some corporations and oligarchs Getting you dumb enough to look at your skin and look at their skin and say, oh, I supposed to be fighting with them. Getting you dumb enough to think you're just a cow or some cattle. Oh, my skin is white too. I'm supposed to be over here with them. Getting you to be that stupid to farm you, to make sure that all the resources continue to go to the top. Gotta be smarter than this. All right, let's let it finish up.
This is a simple fact. You cannot deny it. Majority of parliament members are black.
This is the typical white South African thinking, which is deny, erase. By the way, people like him in South Africa even denied that apartheid was a crime against humanity. But let's deal with the facts of South Africa today. It is true, Parliament.
No, he doesn't deny that that's a crime against humanity. He says whatever he needs to say to get on. That's what he does, because he wants the power, he wants the money, and he wants the attention, which is the same thing they'll do on the other side. So none of these people believe any of this crap. They just know you think Bernie's a socialist. Well, okay, I'll be nice. Maybe Bernie is a socialist. Maybe he actually is. But do you think he's going to do any socialism when he gets in office? Do you think that the corporatists at Washington, D.C. will let him do anything socialist and help people? Maybe just enough to confuse you and fool you. But Washington is a corporatist elite oligarchy. It has no interest in socialism or capitalism, and it's not going to let any of it. The leaders know, like this guy knows, if he says tribal things, he'll get a tribe behind him. Don't be a tribe.
Is black. But we can't even make laws that says you must take the land. Even these politicians controlled by money. Who has money in South Africa? Whites. They control these politicians. They actually we know all the politicians in parliament.
And what he said is true. They control all the black people in the government. Why? Because the skin doesn't matter. They're 1%ers. It's not white people. It's 1%ers. It's actually elite. They control all the black sellouts in government. Then it's not because they're actually bad people that sell out. It's just money. It's power. Everybody has a price. And if you have a system that allows others to climb on top of others, they'll always be bought. And this is why I always print. They print the damn money. They print the damn money. They print the damn. They print the damn money. They print the damn. Why? Because some have higher prices than others, and they want to make sure they buy everybody out. The other thing I wanted to address is the lighter skinned brother said, oh, well, you know, we've got an economy. They can get a job. They can go out and find work. They can lift themselves up. Does that sound familiar? That sound like that old black Republican sellout crowd. Does that sound familiar? They can lift themselves up. And the Democrats, they sound like that too half the time too. You know, and this idea that children born on a monopoly board that's been going for thousands of years got any damn chance against people who actually print the damn money and own all the property. Money, yeah, exactly, Tony. Money, 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 money. Because they have pure hearts with primal love that adults lost. We did lose it, Tanya. We lost real love. We got fake love. We got fuv. Fake love and love. We got fuv. We got a whole lot of fuv. But it's fantasy and it's fake and it's partial. And it's all based on this idea that everybody wasn't this little cute baby at one time thinking that, oh, I'm born into a pack of wolves, that all are making it safe for me. All the adults are doing the best they can so to be safe, so I can feel safe in the world as a cub. And they're not. They're born into a pack that's got fuv. A pack that's not actually trying to make it safe for the cubs. They're not trying to make the world safe for babies and toddlers so they can grow up. They're trying to make it safe for them. They're buzzards. Not even a pack of wolves. We're just buzzards. All we do is make sure we want to get some of that carrion. That's what I was thinking about this weekend. Who sent me down that avenue? Tanya. I was thinking about this weekend that all these 2020s, all I see is just, I mean, being perfectly honest, all it basically is they're fighting over who gets to be the colonizer. That's all they're doing. They're just fighting over who gets the booty, who gets to eat the carcass, who gets to do the murdering. And that's why I'm not okay with it. That's why I hate everybody's 2020. I can't stand them, and I can't stand the idea that y'all are gaslit enough that you're actually picking people to run this carrion-based society, a society based on war that requires war, and all they want to do is sit in the war chair. We're just buzzards. We're just waiting to eat children from other nations. It's like, I was thinking about abuse. Like, what's the difference? What's the difference between, say you got a friend, a neighbor, he's abusing his children, and he's abusing them, but you don't say anything. I don't know many people like that. I know most people, if you're hurting kids, they'll say, they'll call child protection, they'll call the police, they'll call somebody, because they'll look out for the kids, because they can envision the kid playing soccer in the yard. They can envision the kid playing basketball. They envision the kid walking down the street to the candy store. What about when your political parties abusing nations full of children? You find it 2020 when you should be reporting them, when you shouldn't be supporting them, when you shouldn't be, oh, well, you know what, it's okay. It's okay somehow. It's okay to stay in this ism somehow. That's what I see. I see people, because most people, they actually know. They know. I don't believe that people are this gaslit anymore. They know their political party are buzzards. They know that they're getting health care on the blood and the murder of children around this planet. They know they're getting it on genocide. They know that they're getting it on apartheid. They know they're getting it. They just want to pretend like they don't know. They know Bernie is going to give them health care based on the blood of children all over this planet. They just don't want to change. They're lost in that psychopathic fight. We got to do better. Let's finish up. We got to do better. That's my point. We got to do better. My jacked up today.
And are being sponsored by white people, same white people who have land. As a consequence, our parliament, whilst it looks black, is controlled by white money. It can't make laws to serve our interests. Why?
Why? Because we keep calling it white money. Hang on, I'm messing with my green screen. I gotta fix this. All right, let me see if I can make it a little better. Every time that sun come up, that's what happens.
Are vegans healthy?
Oh, what's
Are vegetarians healthy?
Vegans. All right, we're not getting into that. Now, every time we get into that, y'all.
A national action plan against racism has been approved.
So no, we always get played against each other. I don't want to talk about no damn meat eaters versus vegetarians. Those conversations would be here for 8 hours. All right, there we go. Green screen a little bit better. Whew. All right, that's a rough one. Don't get played. Don't get played by your isms. You got to get out of the pod. Get out of the pod. Like, ooh, where's Sister Deborah at? Deborah, get the goo. Get that goo. Get the goo off your face. And just realize we're always being played. Ain't no white money. Ain't no black money. Ain't no Latin money. All you got is oligarchs' money, and they print it. Did you know years ago, Gerard, Brother John asked me? No, I didn't know. I didn't know. Years ago, Brother John, I was a bigot. I was a bigot. Actually, all right, no, I wasn't. If you took me back, how old am I? If you took me back 24 years, I was a bigot, Brother John. I had my Malcolm X shorts. I had my dashiki short. I had my afro that was cut into a box. Actually, it wasn't. I was bald back then. But no, I didn't know. I had to wake up out of my pod. I had to wake up and realize I was a battery for Al Sharpton. I had to wake up and realize I was a battery for Jesse Jackson. I had to wake up and realize I was a battery for these bastards that actually were in the civil rights movement when those in power worked with the KKK through the FBI to kill Martin Luther King. A man that I should have been focusing more on than the popular ones now that use race as a means because they have no other argument, no other better argument to starve white children for reparations. And that's the correlation in what you're talking about in Africa. It's the same problem we have in America. when you start talking about reparations and taking care of one group as opposed to another, we got a problem. We got a problem. Now, you want to talk about reparations and take care of everybody and take this money out the Rothschilds' hands and take the automation and the corporations and turn them over to the benefit of the human race? Then you got a discussion I want to be in, but you got a discussion where you want to look at somebody's skin and give them something based on it. No, because I think it's an atrocity what was done in history for the sake of skin. Yes, it was. It was an atrocity what was done for the sake of you found somebody. But by creating more tribalism, you're not going to make anything better. You're actually perpetuating the problem. When all kids are born, because listen, I think about it like this. All these kids are born, we talk about reparations. Tell me, what the hell does a little white child born today got to do with slavers? The hell he have to do? Absolutely nothing. He wasn't even around. He deserves the same thing that little beautiful black baby does too. But if you can start a tribal discussion and you can get people arguing, then you can make money off the fight. Why? Because that white dude and the black dude, both of those brothers, they want to make money. They got books to sell. You think that it's the same thing. You think that they're there for the people that get behind them? Hell no. Like, they don't hate the people they're arguing against. They just got books to sell. They got on the table. They got to bring home the bacon. They want a house. They want to be comfortable. They want to pass things down to their youth. The same damn way the billionaires want to pass down control of nations and continents and the earth to their children. The same sick psychopathic thing at the top is the same sick psychopathic need to collect things at the bottom. And it's just because, I don't know, people, they don't want to act like they don't know. Like, you can go to Washington, you can't throw a rock in Washington without hitting a neoliberal all over, everywhere. There's America first. No, I ain't never first, brother. All over Washington, you go down there and throw a rock, you're going to hit a neoliberal or neocon. What are neoliberals? They're colonizers. And you hit them with the rock, they're not going to throw it back. They're going to look at the rock and say, damn it, what minerals is this? Have we invaded that nation yet? Have we enslaved the population of those people yet? Yeah, I don't know what this is. It's Colonizer from Venezuela. Let's go attack. Because they don't argue attacking Venezuela. There's no neoliberal debate, and they own Washington. So it doesn't matter, even if you can dig deep in your butt and find a socialist, even if you can dig deep in your butt and find an actual free market capitalist, they ain't getting nowhere in Washington. They can have all the ideas they want. Their ideas are to get you to vote for them. Once they get into Washington, they're going to do exactly what they're told to do, because that's what everybody does, because that's how this world works. That's how Washington works. That's why the world is being invaded by Washington. All right, let's keep it going. I don't like that racial topic. I don't like it, but it's important. It's important because that's an ism that people need to wake up out of. It's an ism that people need to let go of so we can keep moving forward. Some other things in the news this morning. That Reverend, the leader, and wait. Let me see if I missed a comment. That Reverend, the leader of their movement in the government, is fully responsible for the hate between blacks and whites today. And Brother John, 100,000%. But I go a step further, right? Because if it's a crime. If you go out and you incite a riot, you go say some things and it causes violence, somebody to die, you're complicit, and they will prosecute you. And a strong belief of mine, Brother John, is that anything that's a crime for us is a crime for them. The Democrats and the Republicans, the DNC and the GOP have taken my country where we all just sat around and laughed at our own races and laughed at our own religions and didn't take ourselves too seriously. We were coming together and they broke us the hell apart. Everybody that's out there protesting, being shot in the street and beaten up and getting records because they're standing up, because they're afraid of all of this racism, it all goes back to Washington and both sides, the GOP and the DNC. And to be honest with you, I think every child that's died in any of these riots and racial violence, they all are complicit. But people don't say that. People don't say that because they were born with more jewels. People don't say that because they're the people that are on TV. People don't say that because we're slaves and they're our betters. And so we want to protect them instead of make them subject to the same laws that you are. Rome never fell. They moved to Washington. No, Paul, brother, they didn't. Rome never fell. The psychopaths that control the coffers, it just bounces around from country to country to country. Washington is the Fourth Reich, and it's always been, because people don't consider whether or not their 20 has the power to do the things that they say. And they don't. Washington is controlled by oligarchs, not ideas. It's controlled by money, not men, and certainly not the ones you. The system of operations worldwide are tweaking off. And yes, Sandra, they keep tweaking them. They tweak them because if you stop believing about race, they'll tweak it for religion. You stop believing about your bigotry and religion, they'll tweak it for class. You stop believing in that, they'll tweak it for something else. They keep tweaking. The whole goal is to keep you divided up. The whole goal is to keep you in a pod with goo all over you. Is Deborah still here? They don't want you wiping the goo out your eyes when you get up out the pod and realize, damn it, I was a battery for these bastards. Get this mess off of me. What the hell? They don't want you to realize that. That's why I'm saying you fight things at the root. This is why we need more philosophers. You got to look at things at the root. It's always about power and control. Always escape somebody who's trying to control you, someone who wants power over you, someone who's trying to get you to do something. Because they never speak in your favor. They make it sound in your favor. All right, let's keep going. Hatred for your enemy will make you into your enemy. Exactly, Ron, because that's how it works, brother. That's exactly it. When you take on the hate, you take on that spiritual energy of your enemy, and you become your enemy. All right, let's keep going. Let me see. I'm done with being on me. No, Deborah, I'm sorry. That's not how this works, sis. That's not how this works. So we take a topic and we just run with it, and we look at the news, try to make sense of our world and figure out what pods we're in, what isms we have, and everything everybody says against you in the court. We love you. We love you, Deborah. This is the court, though, but you didn't say the goo girl, so you girl. That's how it worked, Deborah. You goo, we just going to... You know what? This is why I'm bald too. This is why I'm bald, because I realize I keep waking up out of these pods, Deborah, and I keep waking up and like, damn, it's just easier to get the goo because I don't have no hair. I can just go. All right, boom, goo clean. I still got to get flushed down the tube. All right, let's keep moving. What else happened? Oh, here's a good example. I like this. Hold on. I gotta get past the commercial. I don't want you to see the commercial. I hate commercials. I hate commercials. Look at this. This was in Georgia. Hey, Georgia's here too. Georgia! This is in Georgia. Georgia, are you in Georgia? Where you at? This was in Georgia. Tornado, look at that.
It's over there.
Kids in the back singing and stuff, and they're looking at the tornado. So, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm going to turn to silence on that. What I wanted to show you is there was a tornado in Georgia. Devastating this weekend. Went, destroyed a whole bunch of things. Knocked houses down, threw people in the air, threw trucks everywhere around, just all kind of crazy bad stuff. I don't know if people died. Most likely they probably did. But I will say this. A good plug for hemp. Because if the houses were made out of hemp, guess what? They could be planting seeds right now. And guess what? In 120 days, those seeds come up, they go to processing, and within, what, 3 months, they actually could rebuild the whole damn house within 3 months. 3 months. By the time people actually found out that the house was knocked down, they'd already have a house. Isn't it a good thing we got a sustainable government? Isn't it a good thing we got a smart government? One that's not always pitting people against each other, but one that's trying to get people together. One that's doing smart things and sustainable things. And imagine this, if they didn't use their drone robots and the automation to go murder people around the world, in Venezuela and Egypt and everywhere else they've been killing people and stealing their resources, they'd have automated robots doing it. They'd have robots out there planting the hemp, harvesting the hemp, processing the hemp, making hempcrete, building a frame for the house, and building up the hemp house. So by the time documents get filed in Washington, Georgians always have houses. It's a good thing we live in a sustainable world. It's a good thing we prioritize everybody having a house. So when bad things happen, we got the backs of our people all over Georgia. Georgia's not in Georgia, y'all. She's in North Carolina. But bad times always come. Oh, where is it? Bad times always come, just like WR 104 is coming to kill you. It's coming. They debated for a while. And they were saying, you know what, it may not hit Earth. It just might not. It might not hit us. And they did more research, crunched some numbers. The mathematicians came out, not the flat earth, because they don't think WR4 is up there. They don't. To the flat earthers, WR4, it's a projector, it's a hologram, something. I don't know. But it's okay. I understand y'all. I do. I understand why y'all believe what y'all believe, because the government's always lying to you in your face. That's why I understand why y'all don't trust the government. But for those of us who don't, and that W104 is not a hologram, it's a bullseye shot. It's going to nail hard. But that's why I think that they divide everybody up. Bad times always come. If it's not a tornado, WR104. If it's not that, it's the avian flu. If it's not that, it's an asteroid. If it's not that, it's a flood. If it's not that, it's a tsunami. And you either got the backs of your friends and your neighbors, you got the backs of people around the world who realize that you're a human being and they are too. We're all sentient. We all die together, or we thrive together. Then you make sure that your government's not making killer robots. They're making hemp-grown robots. Gerard is a modern-day philosopher speaking. Hashtag the truth, Brother Paul. Thank you, Brother Paul. You just fake news. Hashtag fake news. I am not no philosopher. I'm not a philosopher, John. You know, I come out here and I have just enough of a brain that I can spot some bull. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. Our philosophers today, you know who they are? Brother John, Brother Paul. Chris Hedges, he's a philosopher. We got a lot of good Plato data. He's still a philosopher. We got, I think Ron Paul is more of a philosopher. I like you. We have a lot of good forward-thinking philosophers, but I'm not one of the Brother Paul. You know what I am? I'm a society troll. That's all I am. I come out here every day. I'm like, what the hell are we doing? What the hell is wrong with you? Grow up. I just come out here. I'm just like, that don't make no damn sense. We actually have tornadoes that are knocking houses down, and we don't have drones going in to rescue people, taking them out. Leaving from the hospital to take nurses and doctors to save lives. We got dropping bombs on people, burying them under rubble, acting like some damn tornado. All right, let's keep going. Oh, John Bolton was in the news. Let's go to Bolton. What's brother Bolton got something to say, y'all? Yeah, he's a brother. He's a brother too. Everybody's a brother. They all brothers. They just brothers from psychopathic mothers. That's wrong. All right, I take that back. Might have had a nice mama. But somebody beat that guy around. Somebody did some things to him, made him a psychopath. All right, he's got something to say.
President Juan Guaido has pledged to return to the country he supposedly leads on Monday. He left Venezuela in late February in defiance of a travel ban imposed by the country's Supreme Court. Since then, he's been touring Latin America to rouse support. U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton has warned against any attempt to prevent Guaido's return. On Twitter, he said there would be a significant response from Washington should Guaido be hindered.
I have trouble taking him seriously. I do. You know what? I'll be honest with y'all. I'll be honest. This is why I can't take your leader seriously. I can't. Because he look like Mark Twain to me. It looks like an evil Mark Twain. Like, every time I look at him, you know, I just hear naked jump. All right, that's all I hear. He's a colonizer. But every time I look, he's just something wrong with. Why would you make a face like that? Why would anybody? Why? Just think about that. Just why would you even look like that? Something wrong with it.
In a recent interview, Bolton said America was seeking a coalition for a change of government in the country.
Of course they are.
I'd like to see as broad a coalition as we can put together to replace Maduro, to replace the whole corrupt regime. Look, in this...
When a corrupt regime says we need to change a corrupt regime, then you know the other regime ain't corrupt. John Bolton works in Washington. He works for corporations. He works for killers. Everything he says is a lie. Everything he says is try to tweak into your nationalism, your whatever ism he can to get you to go invade and destroy a country so he can make big money off of the corporations he works for.
This administration, we're not afraid to use the phrase Monroe Doctrine. This is a country in our hemisphere. It's been the objective of American presidents going back to Ronald Reagan to have a completely democratic hemisphere.
The Monroe Doctrine, just mentioned there by Bolton, was unveiled by President James Monroe in the 19th century. Its purpose was to stop any European interference in the affairs of nations in the Americas. Many interpret the doctrine, though, as a justification for America's own interventions in the region.
I love stuff like that, because then you look at the Monroe Doctrine, you're like, you know what, it makes sense. We gotta keep the Ruskies out of Latin America. Gotta keep them out. And I sit there and think about, wait a minute, you know what the hell AFRICOM is? You know what AFRICOM is? Anybody heard of AFRICOM? This is why most congressmen don't know that we have soldiers and troops all over Africa and bases. Why? Because they got Obama to send them over there. Because most people would tribalize with their race. They see his black skin. Okay, with them sending and restarting slavery with Libya, I don't want to go down that route. There ain't no Monroe doctrine. They indoctrinate my butt. That's just indoctrinated people who believe in that crap. The bottom line is colonizing, stealing resources. They don't care nothing about no socialism or capitalism or anybody coming over. That we want to own the world, which is why we got 500 bases all over this planet. That's not a Monroe doctrine. We only have one doctrine. That's an Earth doctrine. We're going to destroy the planet. We're going to steal all the resources, or we'll destroy the planet trying. That's the only doctrine. The doctrine we have is we will, or we're going to kill everybody, and elites will go off and get away from W-104 in a space shuttle or some bunkers. We don't have a Monroe doctrine. Let's stop believing the bull.
Matt fears Washington will use it to justify the use of force against undesirables in its hemisphere.
The Monroe Doctrine, which means the Americans should prevent others from entering South America, pales in comparison to the doctrine that is being formed now, which is basically that the Americans usurp the right to use force wherever they want.
They're violating the fundamental foundations of democracy, and without concerted negotiation by the international community. What they are talking about here is America for the Americans, going back to the Monroe Doctrine, and no interference from any other than them and the blocks that they create. This is very problematic because it can really derive in violence because of the fact that we're going to see there are no other option than a military intervention. Today we're talking about a multipolar world, and I don't really know what would what would that mean if America can be only for Americans, when you're talking about a world that's more globalized, when other countries also have interest in the Americas, economic interest, very important economic interest.
Well, there is no America for Americans. We talked about that. There's no such thing as America first. America's always last. That's why they say America first. They always put Americans last, but they do it under this idea of America first. And America's always last, but no America for America. In terms of North America and South America for America, no. You're human for human. How about that? They always play this game. I think Tanya said something that made me think about it. She said, stop choosing lesser of two evils. Vote love, unconditional, unbiased love and respect. Exactly, Tanya. And it's humans for humans. That's all you got. All we got is each other, y'all. That's all we got. All we got until the aliens get here. All we have is each other. We live or die by becoming more sentient on a regular basis. If you can be tribalized up against North America versus South America, America versus somebody else, this continent versus that continent, this race versus that, we all gonna die. We're all going to die miserable. So yeah, it's human for human. We have to move forward. We pause social evolution to stop and fight over resources. And we need to move back to not fighting over resources.
Kind of seem like
we need to move back to actually fighting for each other. So when the bad time comes, damn it, we might need to move somewhere. We might need to move to Russia. You know, Russia's twice the size of the United States. And we just piss them off all we can. What's going to happen if the Earth, somebody mentioned pole shift, the pole shifts a little bit. Now Russia is lush and tropical. America's a frozen block of ice. You just might need a Russian. You just might need a little bit of land. This is when your friends, you take care of each other. But when you bomb each other and you steal from each other, then you let each other die. All right, let's keep going. What is this called? America is winning again. That's what Trump is saying. Let's see what we winning.
America is winning again. America is
So it was funny when people clap and they cheer. That's why I always like it when they do that, because they chap and they clear. What are they clapping for? Which he didn't say anything yet. He didn't show a statistic. He didn't show kids in Appalachian Mountains ain't starving to death anymore. He didn't show kids in Chicago aren't like drinking poison water. Oh, by the way, everybody, if you come to America, don't drink the water. They're poisoning us. Don't drink the water. Well, I don't know what we're winning, but it's tribal. As soon as they see his face, they know you're going to boo him. And so what are they going to do? That's how it works. That's how it works. When you hate him, then they got to love him more. Why? Because they got to make up for your ignorance. But they're already cheering. He didn't say nothing. Same way Bernie ran. Bernie, I'm going to run again. And everybody already sent him $4 million. Was it $8 million within the first weekend or something? He didn't say nothing. He said, hi, my name Bernie. He could have said my name is Ernie and y'all would already been sending the money. Stop being stupid. He didn't say nothing yet. There should be no clapping because somebody raised their hand and says America's winning.
Respected again.
America's not respected. They're feared. Why are they feared? Because we murder children happily and you got a 2020. So of course they fear America because you don't have a sentient bone in your body anywhere in Washington.
If you say something like, Russia, please, if you can, get us Hillary Clinton's emails. Please, Russia, please.
All right, I like that one. But he said something on that one. Yes, Russia, get her emails and send them. But you know what, Russia? Get Trump's emails too and send them out too. And that way we'll see that the same people emailing Hillary Clinton, emailing Trump. The same people emailing Barack Obama, emailing Bernie. The same people emailing Bernie, emailing damn John Bolton. But they won't do that. They won't. Nah, they just.
So everybody's having a good time. I'm laughing. We're all having fun. And then that fake CNN and others say, he asked Russia to go get the emails. Horrible. Collusion.
Up in the other day, I realized that, yeah, they having fun. Yeah, everybody's laughing. Everybody having fun. All the DNC and G leadership, because they're all behind protected gates. They all have security forces. They all got bodyguards with automatic assault rifles. They all got good health care. Their kids are going to be okay. All their kids are in Ivy League schools. Everybody's laughing and having fun. Not you. You can't even drink your water. You can't even go to the grocery store. Get some damn tomatoes. They ain't got pesticides and herbicides in them. You're getting 5G and 6G rolled out all over your country. Everybody's having fun at the top. All that 1% that everybody wants to keep voting for. They're all doing good. Keep fighting over them. Don't change the model. Keep just being buzzers determining which carcass you get to eat because you want someone else just to replace the guy.
With Russia, the collusion delusion. I had a nasty business transaction with Robert Mueller a number of years ago. I said, why isn't that mentioned? He wanted the job as FBI director. I mean, these are things that are out there, they know. It wasn't America first. In many cases, it was America last. We are reversing decades of blunders and betrayals. You know I'm totally off script right now.
All right, see, once again, though, all he has to do is say it. It's not about doing it. It's just about saying it. Same thing with Obama. That we always see it. It's always the same damn thing. They don't actually have to do anything. They just have to say it. And because they're all tribalized and they're afraid the other side booing and they want to encourage them, they'll cheer for it. Gestures. All they got to do is make yes with the tiny hand. Somebody said the tiny hand. All you got to do is put that little tiny hand up. That's all you got to do. Put the tiny hand up and everybody will cheer. You know, put somebody black up there. All the black people will cheer. Put somebody say Kamala. Put Kamala up. The people behind her will cheer. And they don't actually have to do anything. All they're doing is giving all the resources to corporations. The Trump administration is just like the Obama one. It's full of neocons. Okay? Full of neocons. But it's better, though, when you get Bernie in and his administration is going to be full of neoliberals. We all going to have hope and change and giving everything to the corporations because that's all they are. Neoliberals and neocons, they're believers in corporate rule. That's all they are. So they're not doing anything for you. If you're a corporation, you can't put people first. You can't put America first. And no, a social media Twitter thug is not actually going to be able to do anything against oligarchs that actually run Washington. All he can do is get excited and say things that make you feel good. That's all he can do. He can't actually do anything because they murder presidents that actually do things.
And this is how I got elected, by being off script.
Hey, agree with that, though. That is how he got elected. He was off script. I do agree with that. I do agree that he was not in league with the neoliberals and the neocons that were currently in control. And that's obvious through the media and the way the media attacks him. I agree with that. He wasn't on script. But the script changed for him because they turned it into a racial thing and he's racist or something. And so the script modified. He flipped the script, the fact that he was off script.
How many parts of President Putin's to-do list was President Trump trying to accomplish today? He was also saying things that really look like Vladimir Putin scripted his speech.
One could argue that there are some things that President Trump has said that might be, dare I say, piquant, controversial. You might want to go there. This is Trump derangement, but dare I say, Trump-Putin-Russia derangement syndrome. This is a preoccupation, a Pavlovian obeisance, this weird kind of a connection. It's an obsession, an obsessive compulsive reaction that they cannot let go.
They can't let go. They hate him. They hate him or they love him, and they can't let it go. They can't say, you know what? The script done changed. I was in the pod. I got some Deborah goo on my face. I'm going to get this goo off my face and get out this damn pod. I'm look at all them people in that pod and just wake up like, oh, yeah, I guess I was a pod person. Damn it, I thought it was different. It ain't different. That's what I was hoping for. That's what I always hope for. Like, y'all put these people in. Y'all tell me how it's always going to be different. I think sometimes it start out different. But the oligarchs, they run the shop. They own the planet. We could learn more about truth about the world by watching Sesame Street. Exactly. Yes, you could, John. Because you know what Sesame Street teaches? It teaches people how to read. It teaches them how to write. It teaches them how you don't worry about the blue monster. Don't worry about the yellow monster. Don't worry about the cookie monster. It teaches everybody how to share. It teaches sustainability through Grover. And it's okay for some people to live in trash cans if you want to live in a trash can. If you love trash. I used to love those songs. Sesame Street, you can learn more about human life through Sesame Street. And people already, oh, I don't like Sesame Street because it's NPR. Shut up. Sesame Street teaches love. It teaches not to be tribal. It teaches sustainability. It teaches all the positive things. Damn it, Sesame Street is actually quite damn important. But I don't even know if Sesame Street is still on TV. We were evolving for a while. Like, our programming used to be very powerful in evolving us into tapping into our sentience instead of our tribalism. Good point. I gotta think more even about that, Brother John. But yeah, politics is useless. It's to me, all we should be doing at this point is just trolling it. That's all I believe. I think we should be looking at it and like, y'all, listen. Like, see Neo, how he woke up and he got the goo. He's looking down right now at everybody else like, damn, there's a whole bunch of people in that goo. How do I wake them up? What do I do? That's all we should be doing. And the only way you can do that, unfortunately, is you got to look at the news. But I try to avoid the local news. I try to go to international news, look at what doesn't make sense so you can talk to the people who are still in the goo happily, hating Trump and loving Trump, happily wanting to steal resources and land from South Africans of white skin and give it to South Africans of black skin and keep playing this John D. Rockefeller game of just stealing resources from each other. I think, but Sesame Street, I think, was teaching that. All right, what else we got in the news? Anything else? I think, there was a good crosstalk this morning. It's at the beginning of this crosstalk. I think there was something he said at the beginning that was really interesting. It was a great crosstalk. If you knew, why do I go to the Russian news? Why are you going to the Russian news? The Russians hate us. No, the Russians don't hate us. They do that because it makes them a lot of money and power. I like Russian news because Russia, the opposite, is the only thing that'll actually tell you some of the lies that are happening in your government. I love crosstalk. I shower to crosstalk. I drive to crosstalk. I listen to these brothers. At the beginning of this, he said something deep.
Hello and welcome to CrossTalk, where all things are considered. I'm Peter Lavelle. Failure in Hanoi. What are the lessons to be learned? Also, stalemate in Venezuela and a Brexit update, and much, much more on this edition of CrossTalk. Cross-talking some real news. I'm joined by my guest here in Moscow, Glenn Deason. He is a professor at the Higher School of Economics, as well as author of The Decay of Western Civilization and the Resurgence of Russia. And in London, we cross to Alexander Mercouris. He is a writer on legal affairs, as well as editor-in-chief of theduran.com. All right, gentlemen, crosstalk rules in effect. That means you can jump in anytime you want, and I always appreciate it. Let me go to London first. Alex, let's reflect upon the failed summit in Hanoi. What is the most important lesson to be learned, if anyone wants to learn any lessons? Go ahead.
Well, for me, the United States needs to revise its approach to negotiation, because what the United States does, and we have to go beyond Donald Trump in these situations, is they don't really negotiate at all. They make demands, often maximalist demands, and they expect the other side to capitulate to them. And what happened in Hanoi was that Donald Trump came along. He made the usual demands the United States always makes for complete denuclearization and for steps towards denuclearization. And he said to Kim Jong-un, I'm not prepared to do anything in return. I'm not prepared to lift or moderate the sanctions in any way.
All right, I'm going to stop there. That's all I want to hear, because I heard that this morning. I was thinking about that. That's what we do. We don't love democracy. We don't actually do anything. We don't actually, all he has to do is make a bunch of noise. Let me go back and say, I want to hear him say it the way he said it.
And they expect the other side to capitulate.
We make demands and we expect the other side to capitulate. Where has there ever been a U.S. campaign rally that did anything involving democracy? When was there a campaign rally where they invited both sides to have a discussion? They don't. They have a rally, they play some rock and roll, they get somebody from Hollywood, they get an artist to sing, dance on stage, and everybody cheers. They make demands. We're gonna do this to the left. We're gonna do this to the right. We're gonna stick this in. We're gonna abuse them, and everybody screams and cheers. Yay, Bernie! Yay, Trump! All they do is make demands. They're the exact opposite of democracy. They have a tribal rally. They get everybody yelling, scream. They get the hats and they get the shirts. And that's what every campaign is. It's not about talking to the other side. It's not like looking at their pains. It's not like doing anything educated. They yell and they scream. Here are the demands. We are socialists. We believe in socialism. This is what we're going to stick it to you. Outside the fact the leader ain't going to do that. But that's what they do. We're going to build a wall and we don't care what you think about it. We hate democracy. We're going to get single payer health care and we're going to jam it down your throats. We don't care. And they don't have to, because you don't force them to. You don't stop and say, hey, you know what? This might be easier if we talk to the other side. This might actually work a little faster if we kind of find out what their gripe is. No, we don't need to hear their gripe. They're deplorables. We don't need to hear their gripe. They're socialists. We don't need to hear their gripe. They're capitalism people. We don't need to hear their gripe. And it's just like, they're old white men. Right? But so it's never democracy. And this is why the left and the right, they can't even negotiate. Like they don't even have the intellects and the ability to have a discussion and talk about, well, what do you want and what do we? Because, the whole North Korea thing, I don't even think that's news. I don't care nothing about it, because Kim ain't going to give up his nukes. He'd be the dumbest man on the planet if he gave up his nukes. That's a stupid. Who's that dumb? A gang is moving into your neighborhood. Let's not say they're the Bloods or the Crips. Let's call them American bases. They're invading every house that doesn't have nuclear weapons. Let's say, I don't know, the Second Amendment, guns, assault rifles to protect themselves. And the first thing the gang does, they knock on your door. Excuse me, will you give up your Second Amendment? Will you give up your assault rifle? Will you give up your nuclear weapons so we're not going to invade you though. You'll be okay with us. And they're invading every house on the block that doesn't have them. Kim ain't that stupid. But let me say it this way. I think that things are always at a deeper level we can't understand. I think if Kim sells out enough, like most gangs would be okay with you sell out enough. You like give up your children so the gang can rape them or do whatever. If Kim turns on his people, maybe if they get a Rothschild bank, maybe if they get some Rothschild nukes and they focus them in Russia instead of in America, then maybe it'll be okay. But the funny thing is Kim is going to die. His kids will come along. They hate America. They're going to take the new nukes, the shiny ones from Raytheon or whoever makes them damn things now, and point them right back in America. That's why America's never first. You think it's about you, and it never is. Let me see. Divide the people over all things. There's something for everybody. Exactly, Sandra. We live on a world that's abundant. Everybody can get what they want if we stop playing this stupid mess. We're not there yet. We're in some tribal place where we like to fight and never get the things that our kids need. Right. Hang on. Y'all make some comments. I think the YouTube. Oh, yep, YouTube is broken. I don't see your comments. I'm sorry, YouTube. Let me bring y'all back into the fray. Talk amongst yourselves. I got to put in my password, and I can't do two things at once. And I don't want to. When I was in corporate America, that's what I did 8 things at once. Oh man, I was a manager. I could do this and write software and do your job, help you them, and let that person cry on my shoulder. I'm older I get, I don't want to multitask. I don't care nothing about your multitasking. Because I do that for corporations. I do that for money. I don't want to do that no more. All I care about, looks like it still ain't working. All I care about is just mastering one thing. Let me just be a jack of one trade. I don't want to, because you know, we get convinced to do these things for corporations. All right, hold on. It's always about survival and money. It's always about just taking something from somebody else and using it to make my life better. That's why I can't get down with the DNC and the GOP. They're just buzzers. They're not asking whether or not we should be preying on carcasses of other people. It's just about taking what they have and I'm going to get a wall from the carcass or I'm going to get some health care from the carcass. And I just don't think there should be a carcass. I've seen Gaddafi, Saddam, and he ain't giving up nothing. Right, exactly, Tony. Kim ain't stupid. Kim is not dumb. The gang is in town. The mafia is murdering people. You are dumb as a bag of bricks unless you totally sell out and sell your people out and get a Rothschild bank or something. Are you sure the Rothschilds don't own Russia too? Game of Thrones, bro. Yeah, John, I think they do. But you know, that's my theory on Russia. I don't actually think we oppose each other. I think the people who own all of this, they own Russia too. They use Russia the same way they use everybody else. You know, as long as they can keep us fighting in this fantasy matrix of a fake world, they get to own everything. As long as we believe and we keep eating the steak, then they keep playing us against each other. So I do. I think the Rothschilds and Rockefellers and his 12 families, I think Russia might be a little weirdly different though, because Russia's got a different type of oligarchy. Russia has a lot of billionaires. So I think it's possible that they, hang on, I gotta make some changes here. I think it's possible that the Russian billionaires might have a little more power and a little more say than the American ones. But I think it's all the same scam. They all want to get off the planet. They all agree that we stay here when where's WR 104? We stay here whenever the disaster comes, their kids make it. They believe in that. Patricia said, yes, change. Oh, I didn't know Sesame Street changed. Is Sesame Street like, they made it political now? I haven't watched it in a while. My kids are too grown. When we grew up on Sesame Street, it was awesome. It was about don't fight, be smart. Somebody needs a shirt, give it to them. Somebody wants some food, give it to them. If corporations can make automated machines that build 3D print houses, then print everybody a house and people won't want to fight, steal your ice cream. That's what Sesame Street used to be about. I don't know what it's about anymore. The method is madness, a breeder's delight. Love is not pretending, right? See, that love is love. Love is real, not fub, not fake love. Love is love. And you know, people got love. They don't go to rallies and scream, "You're gonna get your health care. And we don't care how many children we need to murder and colonize and genocide in Yemen. We're gonna pay for your health care." And the crowd goes by, "Yay! Genocide! Yay!" Bad idea. That's fub to me. That ain't love. That's fub. You know what? You can keep your damn healthcare. That's where I'm coming. You can keep your damn wall. You can keep your healthcare. You know what? I'll even drive over potholes. I don't give a damn about the infrastructure. If you got to murder children, bomb nations, and kill people, I'm not interested in anything you have to offer. I'm not interested in anything Washington is selling. Let me say, I cannot stress hard enough that the romantic notion you all have of metaphysical phoenix that burns the old and renews itself is used too literally. Your delusion that is not is a sickness. That is a sickness. See that? You're confusing me. I have no idea. So, saying, hold on. I cannot stress hard enough that the romantic notion y'all have on the metaphysical phoenix that burns the old and renews itself used too literally. Your delusion that it is not is a sickness. I don't know, girl. You got me. See, you got me. I kind of sort of know what you're kind of talking about, the whole metaphysical and the burning phoenix, but I have to, you got to give me a link. Says give me a link. If I'm in some delusions, y'all always just send me a link, because it's so much. That's why I like to do this. There's so much to learn that it's impossible for one person to know everything. If I know something, I say I know it. If I'm trying to figure out the hell you talking about, I'll be honest. I don't know what the hell you talking about. I don't like to lie. Unfortunately, the videos that say, just send me a link. Send me a link and we'll talk about it. If I got some delusions, I definitely want to know what they are. Putin is a KGB guy. He was charged with bringing Russia back from the ruins of the Soviet Union to fight this third world war. I believe that, Tony. I believe it. I kind of think that they pull people out of these security agencies to love Russians. I don't think they pull people out of the security agencies and stuff them in their administrations and put them with all these campaigns to do anything good. I think if you raise someone to be a killer and you teach them to be a psychopath in one of these security agencies, it's because you need them to tap into that resume and use some of those psychopathic genes to do something foul. So I agree with that. Totally agree. And plus, I got friends who came out of Russia and they said he is a nut. They said he is a thug and he's a gangster. The only difference is he's a gangster with a nice suit and smoother talk than what comes out of Washington. All the old style oligarchs in Russia were killed by Bolsheviks, which you might know more of that better than I do, because I don't know. All I know is when I do a video and I talk about Russian oligarchs, Facebook turns it off. They click it. They shut me off 3 times. I know the loops I have to jump through for the most part. I know the things that the Global Alliance that runs Facebook. I know a few things they want anybody talking about. That's one of the few ones. They don't care so much about vaccines. They don't care so much about, oligarchy, calling that out. They don't care so much about colonization and war. They don't care, but there's something about Russian oligarchs they didn't want me talking about at all. Delusional is being blinded by your own inside the box thoughts. Right. Okay. So delusion is waking up in the matrix and just thinking, you know what? This really ain't good. This ain't good. That's what it is. Delusion is when you wake up in the goo and you look down, wow. You see all the people that just in the tub and this guy right there, he probably eating steak. I bet it's delicious too. Delusional is picking a 2020, knowing that they murder people for the resources to give you the shiny things that you want and to pretend that you're a decent person. I'm sorry. Decent people support decent projects. Decent people support decent parties. Decent people support decency. If you're supporting colonizing psychopaths that give you things that make your lifestyle cushy, you need to check your decency. You might be suffering from some delusion. Sesame Street is a neoliberal asshole now. Okay, I didn't know that, Tony. I haven't watched it in a minute. I like Elmo's song though. I like Ernie's song. I still sing the songs every now and then in my head. I'm driving to work every now and then. I start singing it, Tony. I'll be in my head. Rubber ducky, you're the one. You make that time lots of fun. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you. Bo bo bo. But you know what? That takes me back to kids. That's the damn shame. And that's my problem. I get upset. I was kind of upset this weekend. I can't imagine how sweet kids are in the crazy, evil, psychopathic world that we're allowing to continue. It bothers me. That bothers me. Which is a good question. Have I been cutting out? I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to work my IT stuff and figure out my problems. Has my voice been cutting out, or has this been pretty clear? I have to go back and listen. I love Elmo and Big Bird. I do too, because Elmo and Big Bird sure they got a lot of love. Everybody loves Elmo and Big Bird. Everybody do. Don't lie. Everybody do. Everybody loves Elmo and Big Bird. Why? Because they don't beef with nobody. Elmo and Big Bird, they're not races. They're not. They don't want to steal anybody's resources to make their lives better. You know, Cookie Monster, you might find a few people hate Cookie Monster. They don't like him because they don't like shit no damn cookies. Make a mess all on the carpet. You might have a couple people that don't like him. A couple people might not like Grover. You know, a couple people because he's super Grover, fly around. But shoot, Elmo and Big Bird, everybody love him. Let me see. Don't quit your day job, G. Thank you, Sharon. You know what? I'm not going to. I sing to myself in the shower where I sound amazing. Nope, I haven't cut out. All right, thank you, John. Thank you. Oh, it is in and out on it. All right. Yes, it is in and out. Cheryl said. Yes, it's cutting in and out. Susie says. Okay. So I'm trying to isolate what the problem is and isn't. And so I just isolated what it isn't. It isn't my ISP. That's what I want to know. So it is narrowing me down into solving that cut in, cut out thing, because that's real weird. What else we got? I'll do comments, or I can go to news again. I got some time this morning, or I'm gonna get out of here. So y'all, Snuffleupagus, yes, Daniel, that's Snuffy. I get it. Snuffy moment. We have a Snuffy love moment. I love me some Snuffleupagus. Y'all know who Snuffy is? People at international like, the hell are they talking about? Snuffleupagus. I don't even know how to spell it, but I bet you if I type Snuffy in, it'll come right up on the search. Yes. Snuffy is the man. Snuffleupagus. Hi, bird. He kind of walk in the room. He do that thing in his head, in his nose shake. Hi, bird. You know, this is the good thing. Like, why can't we have happiness, yo? Why can't we have love? Why can't we just take all the love? Because he love everybody. Snuffleupagus, he always come to help, and he'll use that trunk like he's like a big woolly elephant or something. I don't even know who he's supposed to be. You know, but everybody loves Snuffy. He come in, he always hugging you with that nose. You know what I mean? That's who we need to be. We need to be kids for life, and we could be. We have the automation and the robots to do. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. You said who did that to me? I love me some Snuffy. I do. Y'all made me think about my happy childhood, and that's why I feel like I have happy childhood supremacy, y'all. I do. I got Snuffy supremacy. I got Big Bird supremacy, and I got Sesame Street supremacy, because I grew up on these things. I grew up and I was a happy kid. I had a good family, and I used my privilege and I used my Snuffy privilege and teach me to love everybody. Try to help them do some good things. I try to use my privilege for good things. Look at his eyes. I know, isn't Snuffy something else, George? Who did that, y'all? We supposed to talk about like who's that? Daniel? Sit me down. I love you saying Snuffleupagus. Hi, bird. All right, I'm done. Captain Kangaroo. Yeah, Georgia, we did. We grew up Captain Kangaroo too, and he was a nice guy. What else? We had the Great Space Coaster. Oh, I'm dropping stuff. We had the Great Space Coaster. We had all these shows that taught things. We even had the rich kid, the privileged kid. Y'all remember Richie Rich? What's his name? Richie Rich? And he was a good guy. He wasn't some psychopathic DNC or GOP bastard. He was a good guy. And we had silver spoons. He used to ride the train, and Dad get on the train with him and ride it too. And they took care of poor people. We grew up on good shows. We had different strokes, and we had use your white privilege and help people out and take in the black Negro kids and help them out and feed them and teach them how to Willis and what's his name? Arnold, where people looked out for each other. You know, but we had good shows. Now we got psychopathic shows. Everything's so tribal. So I can't watch TV. I have so much trouble. There's certain shows I watch, but I'll start watching something. I'm a binge watcher, but when I start watching it and I can see that they're trying to get me in a matrix pod, they're trying to get me in an ism, like the theme of the show is kind of eroded because they whittle politics in there. That's why I like. Oh, speaking of that, did y'all see who was that brother that came? Danny DeVito. Y'all heard what he said? Danny DeVito said the GNC and the DNC and the GOP are clowns. That's what he said. He said all of y'all are clowns. All of y'all. He didn't say Trump is one more clown than the DNC. He said you're all clowns. Danny DeVito, just speaking the truth. But he was an actor from the 80s. He made it big. He had to diddle little kids and whatever to get a contract or something. And he said he'll never work in Hollywood. His career's over. But I think his career was over anyway. Because the CIA actually owns how CIA would. You know, but he said truthful things. But he's a real actor. You don't have real actors now. That's why I have trouble watching TV. Because they're always they always whittle that bull in there. I don't like the bull. I like my TV with a whole lot of anti-political bull. What am I talking about, Gerard? I don't even know, Sandra. I don't know. I don't know. Snuffy messed me up. I'll talk about TV. I guess an example of it would be like I used to like 24. That's a good example. I used to like 24. But when I watch it now, I see how they use it to kind of cheer the police state. They use it to try to cheer and to tap into my nationalism. They try to use it and bring about a sense of patriotism at a time where all we have is oligarchism, right? They use these shows to kind of push you in a direction and reinforce it. Like there was a movie I was watching, and it was about some, you know, the Russian president fell, and you know he was Russia fell or something, and of course America had to go and save Russia, and America had to go in and save the Russian president. And I mean, even that movie, it was trying to like indoctrinate in that America's strong and America always wins and America will sacrifice and America is good. And even that stuff, it kind of messes me up. Like I can't watch stuff, like it ruins me. Like I used to like The Daily Show. I used to like Trevor Noah because he was pretty neutral until Donald Trump, you know, but when he came, boy, it was all about we need to make racism great again. And so they made him like, it wasn't comedy, it wasn't neutral comedy. It was like sellout comedy that was very, very neoliberal based. And I couldn't watch him no more. I haven't been able to watch him since. I can't stand him now. But then again, it's not why I don't watch him now. I don't watch him now because he hates Aboriginal women. That's why I can't. I love Aboriginal women. He can go to hell. He said Aboriginal women are ugly. But because I don't like politics, Sandra. That's my thing. Like, if you take the fantasy world of politics seriously, I can't watch it. I can't, because I don't take none of it seriously. I don't take any of it seriously. And so if you take it seriously and you're trying to put me back in the pod, you're trying to convince me through a television show that the steak actually tastes good and that the steak actually is steak in the Matrix, then I can't get down with it. I can't. And Bill Maher's another one. I can't get down with that either. I can't get down with who's the other? Alex Jones. I like Alex Jones, but I can't watch it like, Alex Jones, he's racist. No, he's not. Shut the hell up. Black people worked on the show for a long time. I like Alex Jones. I do, but I can't watch him. Like since he tapped into the whole Trump thing, I can't watch it. I hadn't watched it since. The last thing Alex I watched, I watched his Joe Rogan 4-hour show, which was awesome. I loved it. If you didn't watch it, you should watch. It's worth the 4 hours. You know, you can find out who people are, but no, he's not racist. He never was racist. Neither is Howard Stern or any of the rest of them. But when they pick a side, then I mess up. So I appreciate some of the things. He's mad at Trump. Like, this is crazy. Like, even Alex Jones, though, in that interview, he said that even he has issues with Donald Trump. Because Trump talked about how he's trying to speed up 5G and he wants 6G. And Alex is a conspiracy theorist, right? He is the guy who always was anti-establishment. He hated the Republicans. and hated the Democrats, but of course they told you he was racist, and you believe everything you see on TV. You got that adult thing going that believes what your leaders tell you. But I couldn't even watch him because he was too heavy on the Trump side. So if he keeps moving more back towards a moderate space, I might actually listen to him again. But I don't like people pretending that the political world is real. That's what I'm saying. I have trouble watching shows that are trying to break my intellect. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. Oh, Sandra. Oh, Sandra. Oh, okay. That's not. She was saying, y'all. She was saying, what you talking about, Gerard? What you talking about, Mr. D? That's because they get what's his name, Gary Coleman. Did he die? Did he die? I think he got on drugs or something. But that's what happens. The TV shows ruin them. You empower the kids when they're young, and you ruin them. They get on drugs, and I think Willis got on drugs too, and Kimberly got on drugs. All of them got on drugs. I know it sounds weird, like I'm judging myself. I'm not judging. Everybody I know is on pharmaceutical drugs. So I don't know. To me, what I call a drug, to me, a drug is something. If you make it in a lab, it's a drug. It's a dangerous drug. It's made in a lab, it's a dangerous drug. And only a small percentage of dangerous drugs made by pharmaceutical companies actually save your life. That's why you shouldn't take none of them. All right. Let me go. And are y'all talking about TV shows? Then there was the Cosby, the gynecologist. Didn't see that coming. Yeah, well, Daniel, the Cosby Show was about showing black people that they could be something, and showing white people that black people could be good people, and that they all didn't have afros and dashikis and have fists. But it also was an indoctrination show too, Daniel. It also was an indoctrination show to teach black people it was a good idea to go out and get jobs and work for corporate America and be sellouts and sell pharmaceutical drugs and sell vaccines and be buzzards and tap into the Ivy League system. So also it was a show into like trying to get poor people, not just black people, but poor people in general, to teach them that they should go and send their kids to the best colleges and not question the university corporations that work for. So it actually was an uplifting show to try to convince you that that those sides aren't bad, that you can be good, but then the good wasn't good, right? Because now we see how it works when you work for these big corporate jobs. So I think there's a degree of like truth in everything and foul in everything. SS is a political AF now. Wait a minute, what the hell? Patricia, what are you talking about, girl? On YouTube, I'm trying to read it. I remember SS is a political AF now. Oh, it's political as fudge. Okay, I got that. SS, what is SS? Oh, Sesame Street. Okay, Patricia's agreeing. Okay. Schoolhouse Rock taught me about our legislative system at 7. I'm just, yeah. I'm just a bill, and I'm a bill on Capitol Hill. But they redid that, Susan. They redid it and they made it true. Did y'all see it? I have to post it if you didn't see it. They actually did the bill on Capitol Hill, but they made it true where the bills are just bought. They're not put in and they're going through the different houses and getting voted on, and the people love it and they vote for legislators to represent, and the bill gets passed. It's like corporations show up, buy the bill, and it's done. Your law, that's it. The corporation shows up, buys the politicians, and that's it. It doesn't matter if they're Democrat, Republican, the corporations make sure they buy just enough politicians to get the bill passed, and the bill, that's it. It's like it's a real short song. It doesn't even last. It's one verse. Tunnels through. All right, let me go there. Let me go down. So I have to post. That was actually pretty funny. Somebody redid it. Let me see. I like Corbett before he went dim corporate tool. That's why y'all don't like that selloutism. They always put a lot of selloutism stuff because they're always trying to convince you to go back in the pod. I don't want to be in the pod. I don't want you to use a television show based in comedy to try to break me and get me back into being a birth bigot. I don't want to be that. I can't wake up fully yet this morning, and don't laugh. Susie, get up, girl. We talking about saving the world. You're supposed to be up. Love the Cosby Show. Yeah, I love the Cosby Show, Daniel. But I see that selloutism in too, because the Cosby Show it created a love affair for minorities to join the elite, and that's bad. To me, that's horrible. A better show than Cosby in terms of what we should be was Rock. Y'all remember Rock? Rock was the poor black bald trash man. I don't like him just because he's black and he's bald. And because he's a trash man. No, but he was a good guy who said good things. And the brother Joey, who was the conspiracy theorist, he was like Alex Jones. But you can be a good person and live modestly. But more importantly, I think now to be a good person, you do have to live modestly. Now that we know that our cushy lifestyles are based in what they steal from around the world through colonialism and U.S. hegemony. So I think Rock was a great, that was another show from the 80s I appreciated. I'm moving on up to the top. Right, John, exactly. The Jeffersons, it was another one. It's a good idea to be the elite. It's a good idea to have a higher position in the sellout pyramid, standing on top of other poor people. And that's a bad idea. Like, I don't think money's bad, but when all money is based as a representation of human labor, and you think that slavery is a bad idea, then the less money you have, the better. If you can live a lifestyle on modest means, it means you support slavery less. You know, and so what they basically did is they took this colonizer mindset and they infected people with it. And this is why I have an issue with a lot of folks in my family and a lot of my friends, because they're still teaching their kids to be colonizers. They're still teaching their kids that it's a good idea to make money on the cotton trade. That's a good idea to make money on a cell phone trade. It's a good idea to make money on a slave trade. And this is where you get this big sellout population. Unfortunately, where I grew up, it was of a lot of black people who believed in the black elites, and that it's a good idea to not beat the system, them, but to join them. And to me, that's the wrong message. The right message, it's not even the King taught. The right message is no, live within your means and have values, have base core values that don't allow you to fall for the scams. Have base core, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill values. And if a political party or a politician's doing that and they give me the spoils of that war, I don't want them. So that's what those corporate paychecks come from. They come from a lot of murder, rape, and destruction around the world. But that's so as good as those shows were back then, they still had their dose of indoctrination. And I think largely because back then we didn't really know. And I don't think they even knew. We didn't know how corrupt our world is. Like for me, my reality more is my reality is more driven by whistleblowers than government. My reality is more driven by whistleblowers and history and plausibility than it is what TV says or what leaders say. Mainly because those whistleblowers, they're not as motivated to lie to me as the government is, right? And besides, the whistleblowers, they're lying. The ones that do lie, the ones that get caught, they're just trying to sell a book. They're not trying to destroy a nation. Government is lying to me to get me to agree to go murder people. Whistleblowers, even if they are lying, if they make stories and the Oumuamua wasn't an old spaceship, because that's what I was looking at this weekend, that Oumuamua actually was an old ancient spaceship that came through the galaxy, and we landed on it. And we were harvesting technology. Well, we've always been doing that. We always have been colonizing. We've always been stealing technology. Historically, it makes sense. The whistleblower said it made sense. One of the smartest men of our time, Stephen Hawking, said it, and it makes sense. Why? Because he's a lot smarter than I am. It was the only object we've seen. It's a cylindrical shape, and it came through our galaxy and flipped around the sun and went right back out, which is what you would expect a probe to do. But it was an ancient destroyed ship that harvested technology. The elite did. And when I say by we, I mean them. And so my reality is more formed by people who are less motivated to lie to me than the government that always has lied to me. And those lies aren't based in people dying. They're based in giving me, even if it's just fantasy, it's entertaining, but it's still based in this concept of governments and corporations can't have secrets. When lies come down from government through television and these political parties and these campaigns, it's always about murdering people, oppressing people, and abusing children and stealing the resources that they have. So my reality, but the matrices that I lean towards, probably the reality that I'm currently in, it tends to be what based on what whistleblowers say. All right, let me see. Let me go down. God keeps me up all night trying to save the world. Yes, sure, because you got love in your heart. Don't ever give up on it. You mean no, Megs, that's the other one. Rock was one that he was a trash man. Sanford and Son, he was a junk man. Trash man, junk man, very different. One picks up the trash and the other robs the trash. But Sanford was another good one. But Sanford was good. He was like, it was really racial and it was funny. And so we didn't like take race so seriously. But he had Cal, he had the white brother. And they came and he was poor and white and he was black and white. And they hung out together. And Cal was a little dumb. But it was a good show. It was a good show on living with it. Being modest, and Lamont was a pretty decent brother. So there was a little racial undertone that was there too. But it was okay because everything was comedy and was fun. It wasn't like partial. Tim the Tool Man Taylor, innovations using tools to give more power. Yeah, Tim, that was a good show. Tool Time was what it was called. Tool Time. Like to it. Hi ho, neighbor. He was always talking to his neighbor. That was another good show. And there wasn't really a lot of political crap in there. There was a lot of honest stuff about men and power tools and how we need to be careful with that stuff. All right, let me keep going down. Let me get out of here. Home Improvement. Was that the name of the show? Home Improvement or Tool Time? I don't know. Home Improvement. No. The name of his show on the show was called Tool Time, but the name of the show was called Home Improvement, something like that. All right. Last Man Standing. Gives lessons on how bigoted, sexist guys can learn lessons sometimes from women. Right, having that. Yeah, that was the message, wasn't it? It was that, don't be stupid just because you're a guy. Laugh at yourself that we do dumb things. We're not rulers of the house. Women, we don't tell women what to do. You're right. That actually was a good show. It got guys to laugh at themselves and not be like controlling moron cavemen. You're right. It did. It definitely evolved. Mind control through the TV is nothing new. Right, John? And I guess you can use mind control, or you can use nuances to help evolve people, or you can use nuances to keep them in the matrix, right? To keep them in their bigoted matrices. There was a CIA whistleblower who came out. He worked there for 20 years, and his sole purpose was to see how they could control the public through the public television. Yeah, right, exactly, Susan. And it's the other thing that people in Hollywood say. They say the CIA is all over Hollywood. They say you just see them walking around all over the place. If you do a movie that has the military in it, the military is there, that they really control, and they control the narrative. Absolutely. And I have friends in Hollywood that concur with things like that there are controlling forces all throughout Hollywood, and they use it to create a matrix. They use it to form the narratives. Let me see. Go down. All right, we wrapping up for the day. I think that's all I got. I mean, news-wise, wasn't a ton of stuff out there. But yeah, we did have a lot of good shows that brung us forward. And we need to just keep evolving. We got to keep questioning everything and move forward, become better, not becoming more tribal. All right. Ran a little late today, but had a little. The Jeffersons and the Archie Bunker Show. What was the name of that show? Oh yeah, right, Sandra. Let me see. Archie Bunker. I remember the Archie Bunker Show. Are you talking about is it Mama's Family? Talking about Mama's Family. Another, they had the racist white guy. It was hilarious. What was his name? His name was Archie Bunker. Archie. That was hilarious. He get on there, I can't stand me, no goddamn niggas. And we'd all laugh at it. We laugh at the old racist white guy. And Red Fox did it too. We laughed at the old racist black guy. And it was funny. And we laughed at it. And we didn't take ourselves too seriously. And like, even in that way, it helped us evolve. You know, you had Whoopi Goldberg before she joined The View, and she just smoked crack and cocaine, whatever she did. She was funny, and she'd laugh about racial jokes, and it was funny. You know, people didn't take themselves too seriously, and so TV was actually helping evolve us, getting us to laugh at our own wretchedness, and it was so important. Comedy played a major role in stopping us from being tribal, but of course, governments don't like that. democracies, fake democracies, democracies make money when you convince people to be tribal and hate somebody else and fight somebody else, not change the system, not evolve, right? So absolutely. I mean, we came up with some great shows that helped us to evolve. I don't know that there's so many, I don't know there are a whole lot of those anymore. There's some shows I watch on TV now, but I don't watch them on TV. Actually, I watch the internet. Because I don't like being like brainwashed. All in the Family. Yep, Megs was another good one. Absolutely. Thank God, because I was running late and did not want to miss. Oh, miss y'all. Sure. Yeah, I was running. Well, it's snow outside, so I'm actually I ain't going to the plantation. I ain't picking no cotton, so I got work to do around here. I got things to fix and repair. I got to do my laundry. I got a whole bunch of stuff that I got to do. Which is another thing about the Cosby Show. Was the Cosby Show? Did they have a maid? Somebody clean up? No, I guess they did. They? No, they didn't. That was who had the maid? Well, a couple of them had maids. Silver Spoons, they had maids. Different Strokes, they had a maid. Miss Garrett, the Bensons, remember the Bensons? He was the maid, or he was the butler. You know, it's like clean your own house. Well, no, okay, let's be. If it's local work and you got the excess money, you should actually employ someone, you know, to that degree. It's better to give the money locally to someone and help them out and help them build up a business than it is to keep it in a bank account, right? Like that's my, when it comes to money with me, let that, I see somebody laugh. I know, I call myself, I have a friend who actually has a cleaning company, right? Share the money. Just don't keep it in the bank account. If you got the money, let the money do good things. It's only helping the Rothschilds and Rockefellers sitting in your bank account. If you know people who have businesses that are cleaning homes, do that. But pay them good for what they do. Pay them well for what they do. Don't try to pay them as little as possible and keep a dirty as house as possible. Like, so I'm against, I clean my own house. I do it myself. That's why I was kind of going with that. But the Cosbys and the Jeffersons, and I mean, these shows, they teach you to live outside of your means. But if you truly do have excess, it's better to spend that. It's better to spend it on someone with a local cleaning business than it is to spend it with a big cleaning billionaire's business or multi-millionaire's business. Find somebody who needs some help. All right, I'm done with that. But this idea that we should be lazy. I'm not lazy. I grew up every Saturday. I couldn't go outside till the house was clean. My mama, she ain't shoot. Miss Hay, she ain't take no man. We woke up Saturday morning. First thing we did when we got up, we watched cartoons. You had only about 3 hours worth of cartoons, and that was it. After that, it was the politic wrestling. After that, he's watching the DNC and the GOP and the WWF faking and pretending socialism and capitalism and pretending American first, pretending hope and change, pretending. Right, as soon as the cartoons were off, you cleaned the house. You were dusting, you were cleaning windows, vacuuming. Mama, what else I gotta do? You doing everything. As soon as mama said to rake some leaves or something, and you got the hell out the house, you were gone. And then damn near come home till Saturday night. Because when you came home, mama would get something. Oh yeah, I need you to cut the grass too. Like, no, mama, I'm done. I did my list. I'm gonna go out and play with my friends. We never sat around the house. We didn't play no video games. We were gone. I remember once I was out, I'm gonna tell y'all a story. I was out on my bike, out riding. We was making ramps and stuff, because we make tracks and ramps and big impossible ramps, like where you jump up in the air, you get like 6 feet in the air and you land and you break a bone or something. And that's how you know it was a good ramp. It's a good ramp if the competing kids from another neighborhood came in and rode your bike trail and they fell and they hurt themselves. Then you know it was a good bike ramp. So I was out there one day and I knew my mama had work for me to do. I knew if I went home and had some work, you know what I did? You know what I did? I had to take, this is where I won. You know what? Because I thought about taking a dump. I was in the Boy Scouts. And many times that I was in the woods, I thought about taking a dump. But we had latrines in the Boy Scouts. I didn't have a true latrine. So I decided, found me a nice log. I sat over the log. I don't know how old I was. Don't ever do that, y'all. Don't ever do that. If the world comes to an end, you gotta do. But if you do, don't use no dried leaves. Don't you? Oh my goodness. Oh, I just did the memories of it. The memory. Oh gosh. Because you can't pull your pants up. The only thing that was out there was some dried leaves. The dried leaves, they crack up and they're sharp and they're pointy. Oh, the dumb things we did when we were kids. Or dumb thing I did. Shoot. You know, I guess the only thing worse than using dried leaves that you gotta get out later when you get home, and you gotta go home anyway, is using poison ivy or something. That's a bad day. But you know what? That's a good thing. These are learning lessons. Y'all, this is how we learn. You grow up as a kid, you do dumb things, you learn, and then you're good to go. You don't need a government that writes laws so you don't do dumb things as a kid to protect you from every damn thing. That lesson's learned. It's learned. It's like the oven's hot. If you burn yourself, damn it, you know it's hot. You ain't never gonna do that stupid thing again. I ain't never in the woods again. I learned that lesson. Some things you gotta let kids learn on their own. Shoot, I was like, you know what, damn it, I'm going home. If I gotta cut some grass. I got the bubble gut, the Hershey squirts. Next time, I'm riding home. Mama, I gotta use the bathroom. You gotta cut the grass. I gotta cut the grass, mama. You gotta open the door because I gotta take a doo-doo. I ain't never used no damn dried leaves. But that's what growing up is. You gotta have fun. Yeah, all in the family, the Jeffersons, Patricia on YouTube. All right, are we done? Are we still talking? Whew. Hey, I clean for a living. Don't be preaching that. Right, that's what I'm saying, Jasmine. I know, Jasmine got a cleaning business, y'all. Y'all live in Vermont. Y'all need to be getting Jasmine, come help you out, clean the house. She got her own business. Proud of that young lady. After the Jeffersons moved on up, they hired a maid. Right, Sandra, they did. And they treated her like dirt, too. What was her name? What was the Jefferson's maid name? Oh, this is like a test in brain retention skills. What was the maid's name on the Jeffersons? Oh, she had attitude too, Sandra. She ain't play. She ain't play at all. I think did she go on 227 later? She ain't play. What was the name? What was the maid's name? Somebody, you're gonna get $1 million from somebody else, not from me. If you know the name of Florence. Yes, Florence. Yes, Florence. Oh my God. Oh, she. I might watch some retro Jeffersons a day, but that's what happened. They moved on up, and they hired themselves a slave, and they treated her like one. They treated her like one. They had a uniform and stuff like that. Like, I guess in my mind, if I actually had somebody cleaning for me, not only would I pay them well for the work that they did, but they ain't gonna wear no damn uniform. To work in my house. You know how stupid that is? That's some slavery, y'all. That's some slave stuff. You wear whatever you want to wear. Clean the house. I'm gonna respect you. I'm gonna pay you well. I'm gonna tip you if you do a good job. So there's nothing wrong with having people clean your house. But the problem is the ism. Right? The problem is when they're a servant. When you treat them like a servant, they're there to serve you. That's the problem. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I was trying to see if I was seeing the YouTube comments right. All right, now we're good. All right, let's go down. George was a penny pincher. He was cheap, right, Megs? And that's why Flo didn't like him. That's why Flo talked about his mama and used to smack him around and stuff like that, because he was foul to her. But even at the end of the day, he kind of was a good person. Like, they're still, the 80s still was different. He still was a good person deep down. Benson, where was he? Benson, where he was a butler. Right, he was a butler, Meg. He was a butler. And he was funny and he was smart. He was funny. He was a butler, but he was funny and he was smart and he was a good guy. We did that too, Gerard. Saturday for cleaning after cartoons. Right, Sandra? Because that's how it worked. We were good kids. We were respectful. Even when we were out there riding the bike, Sandra, we respected everybody. If we ran into Mr. Johnson and Mrs. Jones or hi, Miss Jones. Like, you couldn't just ride past. Now kids are today to get an attitude. They're looking, they grit and get that mean face and look at you, whatever. We couldn't do none of that, Sam. We was riding in the neighborhood. You meet Miss Jones. You couldn't even ride past Miss Jones out saying, hi, Miss Jones. How you doing, Miss Jones? You doing good? You go, okay, girl. You go, hi, Miss Jones. You need anything? Because my mama said, I'm supposed to ask you, did you need morning, Miss Jones. Okay, you good? Okay. And then you can keep riding, you know, because you got to stay out in the dark credits too. Because if Miss Jones is walking by and she see your mama and say, yeah, I didn't see you ride. He being nice. Oh, he asked me if I was having a good day. Oh, he was. You start earning credits because you know you don't want to come in when the lights go out. You want to play basketball with your friends. Don't want to get in trouble. You get credit. But we didn't have a choice. We had to respect everybody. Even the ladies we didn't like, we had to respect them. Like we used to play this game called kickball. Y'all play kickball? I don't know if y'all play kickball anymore. This is what old people do. We played kickball, and I had this lady we lived in a circle, and a lady lived on the other side, and she just happened to live in the where you nail the ball and it goes into the neighbor's yard. She lived on the opposite side of where we used to kick. And we had them rubber balls back there. Y'all remember that? They still got them rubber balls. We had them rubber balls. They would fly. Boy, and I was a chubby kid too. I put some thigh meat. I used some physics and put some thigh meat into that kick. And I'd run up there. I had an afro. I had my fro. I'd lean it forward. I'd run up there. I'd kick that ball. Boy, that ball go flying. It was just, you could feel it warp and fly through the air. Land in her yard. Oh, Lord, we in trouble. She's an old lady. She hated that. She dead and gone now. She probably here right now. Like, that bastard used to kick the ball in my yard. You know, she was evil and mean. She didn't believe in let kids be kids and have fun. So yeah, you kick the ball in her yard and you run, try to go get it before she look out the window. You know, she looking out the window just waiting for the ball to go in her yard. Mean old lady. But even when she look out the window, you get it, you pick the ball up, you say, I'm sorry. You wouldn't step on the roses or flowers and nothing. You race and hurry up and go to the driveway, then walk out the yard. You even had to be respectful to her. Because even though she was mean and angry and all that stuff, all the parents still were, all of the adults in the neighborhood were still all united in watching the kids. So even so we had a different time. We had a different level of respect too. All right, let me see. And plus, all the TV shows taught you respect. All the TV shows. There was no talking back to your parents. When the teacher called home, you had one thing to say. Not the teacher's lying. Not the teacher's a lying, privileged, supremacist bastard. She don't understand me, mama. That's not what you said. When the teacher called, you just start crying. That's all. That's all you did. The phone, because you get that note. Now tell your mama I'm going to call your mama at 7 o'clock. You knew you was going to get it. You knew. You get home, you clean your room, clean the living room, get that end dust, start cleaning stuff down, straightening stuff up, make sure your room look nice. Start dusting the blinds, just getting ready because you know you're going to get in trouble. 7 o'clock, 7:01. We had that old thing back then called house phones. You could call it a house. They didn't have cell phones back then. Like, oh, I'm going to get it. All right, start working. But you didn't have to work too hard because you knew based on what was going to happen. You start doing that sniffle. Hello? Oh, he didn't, did he? That's my father. Oh, he didn't? Oh, he didn't? And you said to do what? And he didn't? And and he's supposed to turn it and he kept it. He's supposed to read and he okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Miss Chesley. All right. I'm right. By that time, I was already prepped. I got a few tears coming down. See, because you know what? But that's who we were. Like, I knew that my father was going to listen to the teacher. And so what happened when I went to school? Oh, that teacher was like a manifestation of my parents, right? Like when I got there, every adult in the community in school who was in league with my parents was like a distant censor-taking device that would tell on me. And so you have respect for all adults, which actually made it a safe environment for all kids, right? The adults weren't turned against each other. They weren't fighting each other over white guilt and, I'm better because I'm a corporate executive and you're just I'm a Democrat, you're a Republican. Like the adults weren't dumb enough to be so gaslit and fight like children and be immature. They were all in league because they knew that the benefit, their biggest benefit in the future was to make sure that the kids grew up well. They knew that raising children was a responsibility of the village, and they all worked together to do that. They might have differences in politics, but they weren't as gaslit and childish as the adults today, where they would lose friends and family over some dumb politics stuff. All right. Let me go to that. Let me see. They're starting to realize TV raised me practically. Yeah, it did, and it does, Megs. And now these little internet devices are raising kids, which is why it's crazy that we let them do that. We let them control and censor these devices, and so what goes out is what they want to go out. Let's see. Right now, I'm doing laundry and buy hand sweaters. Yep, I got to do my laundry in just a minute, Sandra. I'm about to go down there. I couldn't do. I was going to do laundry before the show started, Sandra, but my kids had laundry in there. Yes, my kids do laundry. They had their clothes in there. They didn't take them out the other day, so I actually had to restart the laundry machine, the washing machine. I can do mine next. I was an avid baseball player and swimmer every day. We were active, Cheryl. We didn't sit on our butts. Everybody played. Everybody played. There were very few fat kids. Why? Because they let dogs loose in our neighborhood. When it's time for the dog to go out, the neighbor just opened the door. Like Rottweilers, German Shepherds, Huskies, Dobermans. Does anybody remember the Doberman Gang? It's a great movie. Doberman Gang. They'd let the dog run loose. Everybody knew how to run. Everybody knew how to climb a tree, and everybody knew how to jump on top of a damn car, because you never knew. And when you were walking too far out your neighborhood and you didn't know everybody who had a dog, you had a stick. Everybody had a stick. That's how we did. We didn't go get legislators and laws and leash laws. We knew how to survive. If the dog came, damn it, I'm jumping on top of a car, and you knew which one to jump on top of, not the Cadillac. I jump on top of the Volkswagen Bug that's all beat up. But you jump on top of the dog, jump on top of the car. We knew how to survive. We were survivors, but there weren't very many fat kids. We all knew how to run. Everybody, because they were bullies and around every corner too, Cheryl. You never knew. You knew the dogs in your neighborhood and where they were. You knew the bullies in your neighborhood. You knew when you wanted to go to the park, you knew which way to walk. It's like, I ain't walking that way. I ain't walk because Boba. Mike live on that corner. I ain't going that way. I'm gonna go this way, right? Because you ain't want no trouble. You know, you knew where the dogs were. Let me see. Anyway, nothing the government does. Nothing the government does for the better of the people they govern over. Nope, John, because we shouldn't have governments. The government's about power control. It's never about the people. We are not the government. That's not true. We are not the government. The government is run by corporations and an oligarchy. So nothing they do is good for us. Nothing that your politicians promise they're allowed to do is going to be good for us. It can do some good as a side effect, but everything they do is based on what corporations tell them to do. Let me see. Unless you grew up and became a chef. Unless you grew up and become a chef. Daniel, I know what you're talking about, but I like chefs. Chefs don't kill people, and their jobs are corporations and massive amounts of greed. People who grow up to clean houses don't actually make money on murder and have cushy lifestyles from death and destruction because they got an Ivy League education. Step on the crack, break your mama's back. That's right, I remember that. That was one of our sayings. Remember that, Cheryl? Step on the crack, you break your mama's back. So we all go to school the whole way. You'd never step on a crack, no way. You got a spanking that night, then I step on every crack. Oh gosh, yeah, we had good childhoods, but you know, and that's why, man, we just have to do better, people. We have to do better. Kids grow up neutral to all of our dumbness and nonsense, and they are completely held captive by the wisdom we put in government or the wisdom we don't, or the model that government is allowed to operate within. When I went away for my summer family up in the north, I washed all of my clothes and carried and ironed them too. Yep, Sam, we had to iron. We were in Boy Scouts, we had to iron. Civil Air Patrol, we had to iron. ROTC, we had to iron. Make our beds, we had all of that. And grandmama, and if you went to go stay with someone, they also knew what you're supposed to do too, because they got a list. They got a list of all the things you're supposed to do and all the things you know how to do. All right, let me see. Answer my comments, G. I am sure. I think I'm going down. I'm just trying to hit the last couple comments. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm reading your comments. She was Meaner than a rattlesnake. Yeah, Daniel, we had some mean people in the neighborhood, but they still all agreed. They all still got together. They all still at the homeowners association meetings. They all still got together as a neighborhood. They all went outside because it was New Year's. Remember New Year's? What was that thing? We used to go outside and hold candles up in the air. I forgot what that was for. I don't know if that was a We Are the World thing or something. But everybody saw each other outside. You see each other, you talked, whether you like people or not. The Constitution was a good foundation for a democratic society. It just became corrupt over time. We weren't evolved enough when we discovered oil. No, you're right, Susan. We weren't. And we basically made oil a slave. Right? Because oil is a representation of work, right? So oil became a slave. And before we evolved enough to not use the new slaves to destroy where the oil came from, and we started invading it. I agree. The Constitution was a great document and it was moving us forward. It was socially evolving us. But I just don't think we didn't see what was coming. We didn't see the power of oil and how it could take over our country and basically destroy the Constitution through the petrodollar and those who need the oil. Who was a butler on Fresh Prince? He was a gangster. Oh, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It was a Jeffrey, yeah, he was rough. Yeah, Jeffrey, I remember that. Yep. Kick the can, the game, kick everything, Rebecca. You find that we make games out of stuff. You find a stick, you find 4 sticks, you lay them in a line or something with 8 rocks, and you just make a game. That's what we did. We didn't have smartphones. And the little video games we had, they were boring. Like football was a stick. Remember head-to-head football? It was a stick like ding, 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 ding. It just wasn't entertaining. So we always were doing. We made games. We use origami. Y'all remember football? You're supposed to be in class, like paying attention to the teacher. Instead, you fold the football up, make a football, and we play football that way. But we made games. How old are you? I thought you were a lot younger. I'm 44, John. Let me see. Back in the 50s and 60s, that's how many women from black neighborhoods provided for their families, upgraded from slavery on their plantation. Still slavery. Yep, Sandra. But you know what, Sandra? But in that, that's how it destroyed a lot of racism too, though, right? Because when you had maids that were raising children, some of the maids actually, in fact, some of the slaves who were maids nursed the children. The kids grew up. They didn't have as much hate as their parents did, right? They didn't have as much, I hate the word hate. They didn't have as much, we'll go with racism as the parents did, right? Because the kids were playing with the nanny and the butler, and the kids were talking with them, and the kids were interacting. It's easy to hate something that you don't know, something that's way out in the field that you never talked to, something that lives in a shack way out there. But when the person you're supposed to not like is in your house, and they're funny, and they're friendly, and they make you food, and they do these things, and this is why we are designed socially to not be the bigots and the fools we are today. Right? This is why you solve hate with love. And that's just another good example, Sandra, appreciate that. This is another good example of you don't hate with hate. You hate it with love. People can only hate things that they don't see, they don't touch, and they don't know. Because hate is based in fear and ignorance and not knowing. When you spend time with people and they get to know you, that's how you erode these things. And I think the problem, Sandra, is we were heading in a good direction, and people could care less and less and less every generation about race. And so the DNC and the GOP had to bring it back alive again, great again. And they both did it as a scam, I think. I think they were 100% in league. And they're causing all types of issues in our nation, making it something to fight over. People were losing reasons to fight because our communities are integrated, our families are integrated. Not able to watch/listen, so shall bid a fond farewell. Okay, Debbie, I don't know what happened. Can't watch and listen. You got to go to work, something like that. I'm about to get out of here in a minute anyway. Let me get the last couple of comments, get down to the bottom, then I'm going to wrap it up. They called them domestic workers back then. Yep. They called them domestic workers back then. Always a Scrooge on the block. Yes, Daniel, there's always a Scrooge on the block. Most neighborhoods have that one lady that spends hours picking rocks out of her lawn. Yeah, Rebecca, and that was her. That was her. She had that nice pedicured lawn, and there wasn't no little kids running through it. What looks funny is cell phones in a third world country, and everybody has one. It does, Cheryl. Well, and like their requirements, and they're based on slave labor, and that's how they make them. But if everybody has it, and it's a default, and it's normalized for everybody to have their slave tool, then you can control the populations. You know what they're talking about. You're listening in. Like, that's how you control people, is you get them to embrace that 1984 technology. Y'all see that hat, the blue hat? It says, what was it? We were laughing about it. It was a post. Make something great. Make 1984 fantasy again. Something like that. It was something, or make Orwell fantasy again. Mofo. Mofa. Make Orwell fantasy again. Mofa. And so we were laughing. We were like, mofos. Patricia's put out the link. Mofos. We need a movement. We need a movement to make Orwellian technology gone again. Yep, back in those days, we were good because we didn't want the neighbor to call mom and report. Yep, because the neighbors will call. Worse yet, Nikki, they should walk over there. That neighbor will walk. A call is bad. Neighbor walking over is a beating. That's what it was. That was a little different. You see the neighbor walking to talk to your parents, you was in big trouble. And everybody was outside because everybody was manicuring their lawns and raking leaves and stuff like that. An answer without a question signals guilt without question. Brother Gustin, I know that's deep. I'm not getting it though. You got to clarify. It's deep, and there's something in there. I can't pull it out though. And that cat lady is about as decent and wise as they come. Yep, that was a cat lady. We had old nice people too. You had an old guy used to tell everybody everything. He knew everything. Old wise cat. We had geese in my hometown. You had geese. Okay, Jasmine, we didn't have any geese. We had alligator snapping turtles. We had frogs and snakes and dogs. Didn't see any geese. Don't forget to feed the animals. Yep, we fed the animals too. We fed everybody's animal down. The dog come in the yard, you feed it. We weren't like crazy. Now, like how people are that, get that dog out my yard. Call the dog catcher. Geese bit and pop tires. Damn, Jasmine, where you grow up? She had psychopathic geese. Had DNC and GOP geese running around popping tires, huh? Acting a fool. Not the beetle. I own one of those. Yeah, well, we all had bugs. Sure, we love birds. We had bugs and birds. You find a baby bird, you took it in the house and tried to take care of it. And of course, Mama Bird didn't take it back. All right, let me get down to the bottom. Let me get out of here. Yeah, block parties. We were a community, and that's the power of community. If we go back to being communities, then it's hard to turn a community against each other because we work together. We have potlucks. We have barbecues. We do things together. When it snows, you go out there and you shoveled your neighbor's driveway if you knew that they had a broken leg or the husband was on vacation. We took care of each other. We got to go back to being those people. All right, let me see. I had no idea you were 10 years older than me, G. Yeah, Deborah, I'm an old cat. I got gray in my face. I just cut it, girl. I cut it, and I wiped the goo. I cut my gray, Deborah, and I wiped it. I thought you was gone. But you still here. I wiped the goo. Get out your matrix pod. Wipe all that goo off. Then you got to get flushed down. And don't go back. Don't go back. Got to get out of the isms. Let me see. Let me go down. All right. Absolutely. Trudeau does that. Answer question with a question. Oh, okay. That's a Trudeau thing? That's an answer without a question signals guilt without a question. Okay, I'm confused. I don't know. So I answer questions with questions all the time. I answer questions with questions all the time, and I don't know why I do it. My friends don't like it, but I guess I'm kind of being a father makes me that way. Because I want my kids to answer their own questions. I want them to solve their own problems. If I have to solve it, I'll solve it. But I don't want to solve it my way. I want them to like be smarter than I am. I want them to be upgrades. So usually when they ask me something, I'll ask them with a question that will hopefully form a solution in their mind. You know, but I guess, yeah, but it's probably not why politicians do it. So a lot of times my friends ask me a question, I'll ask the question because I get locked in dad mode sometimes. A question given no answer signals guilt. From what I've seen with having two sons. Oh, yeah. Well, when they don't answer right. Well, sharing that, or pause. Or pause when they don't answer right away because they're trying to think of the lie. That's the only problem. You stop ready to lie to your parents. You had to think up the lie unless you thought you prepared ahead of time. You had to think of a lie and something that your parents would believe. All right, let me see. The black neighborhoods were self-sufficient. When I was growing up, we had only black bank in my town, in my hometown. Well, right, Sandra, when they were more segregated. I remember you used to go to Arkansas, a little town where my family's from, and they were segregated. Right there, we had a black candy store. There's a black candy. You had the white candy store, the black candy store. You had the white theater and the black theater, and they were segregated, and they were sustainable. As bad as that sounds, they were sustainable. It was stupid because they were divided up on Crayola colors, and it was dumb, but it actually made sense. The communities were sustainable, and going back, the elders were always more sustainable, right? Like Puerto Rico. If Puerto Rico could grow its own food, had its own water, had its own economy, they wouldn't have to worry about hurricanes. They could rebuild. But because we keep them unsustainable, that's why I don't like global trade. I think communities should be able to be trade between each other like nations and continents, but after they're sustainable so they're not dependent upon each other. So when WR104 comes and it blasts one side of the planet and kills everybody over there and a few people make it, they're sustainable as possible. Disasters always come, and if neighbors love each other, they take care of each other when bad times come. Somebody loses a job, we can still feed you and help you. Might even give you some money to help you pay your mortgage to get back on your feet, because community takes care of each other as opposed to robbing your neighbor and stealing their oil. There you go, you answer the question. Okay, thank you, Augustine. I have no idea if I didn't know it was a question, Augustine. I didn't know. I'm tired. I drank my coffee. I'm ready to get out of here. Anybody got a last comment so I can get going? Lots of laughter. I got to take a shower and towel off after all that talking about G's good. Well, it was an analogy, Deborah. You stepped in it. You stepped in the goo, girl, and then you just got the goo. Wake up, wipe the goo off, and let's keep moving. Hemp homes for Puerto Rico, right, Mary? And share that technology. We invent the technology, share it with your family all over the planet, and the whole world becomes more sustainable. We're all more sustainable. National security is about taking care of your neighbors. It's about helping Venezuela, not about giving sanctions so you can go invade them and make them weaker and making them a slave of you. It's because you want their oil. Right, every neighborhood took care and looked after one another. I was usually only white looking head in the area though, which is good, Daniel. You were always the one involving people, showing people that, you know what, faces, color doesn't actually matter. Poor people are poor people. Community is community. And when people pull together, we're all sustainable. If we don't pull together, we're not. All right, we're good. Whew, what is this? Earth waking, right? Yep. Earth is waking up. I think the earth is waking up. I think that we are moving forward in positive directions. We just have to keep waking up out of our different matrices and then wake up out of ism, wipe the goo, get flushed down the toilet, and find a community with a crane. And then you got to wake up from whatever their ism is, right? Like just keep waking up and keep moving forward. And the less tribal we are, the more positive things go. But the oppressors always become the oppressed, because if you adopt the hate and philosophy of those that you hate, then that's actually what's going to be great. And that shouldn't be great. So anyway, this is Gerard. I got to go. Y'all have a wonderful day. Love y'all. Happy Monday. I am out of here. Bye-bye.